Welcome back, everybody, to
spoilers
Tabletop Notch. Oh, no spoilers quite yet, although there will be for sure. Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. This is our transition episode between Season 1 and Season 2 of Tabletop Notch. There was 100 episodes of Season 1. We loved every minute of it.
100 plus with all the...
Yeah, technically,
That's true.
some extra stuff that went on here and there. Is Genesis even labeled? That's like its
is
own.
not
Not
numbered.
It is
separate.
not. Genesis is
It's
part of
entirely
43.
different.
The side quests are.
I have it labeled as 0.5 in my notes because we have
40.5?
session 0.
Yes.
No, 0.5.
Oh,
Yeah, because Genesis took place.
Before 1.
got it. That makes sense.
It was indeed.
Or wait,
Genesis.
before 0.
It's before 0.
Okay.
But technically, session 0
Negative
was,
0.5.
Negative 0.5.
session 0 was chapter
We got
1, and it was.
Alright, so
We
Genesis
really
can be 0.
We
Fine.
really bungled it.
I'll show
It's
you.
about 100 episodes. Congratulations.
For anyone who was
everybody.
feeling overwhelmed.
Tonight we're going to be doing a little talk back. This is something that we don't do a lot. We did one of these before at 50 episodes. Is that
It was
what
our
we did?
year
person.
No, we
anniversary.
definitely never
that
did it
was
in person.
pandemic.
Yes, it was
We
a
did our
virtual.
virtual year anniversary.
Yeah, we did a little talk back, watch back. Tonight we're going to answer some questions. People have been great putting some questions into the Discord and various other social
Absolutely
media. So we'll go through some of those. We'll revisit some of our favorite mini games. We've got Pugilism here. We've got
I'm so
Shut the Box.
Oh my God! You haven't gotten to
Yeah.
play it since
In a long time.
since
That's
Joelle.
And Joella, yeah,
Oh my
the
God,
great
that's
Joella and her friends.
Yeah. It's for the best.
So we'll duke it out to see who gets to answer questions and things of that nature. We will be showing a few clips. There, a couple people asked. It was a pretty common question. What are some of your favorite moments of season 1? So we took a little time to think about that, and we put together some clips that we'll show, and we'll do a little watch, and then talk about some of those moments. Some repeats. I think we did this in our last talk back, and we were like,
probably.
we
Some
love
of
this
the
so
stuff
much.
350. I'm curious as to how much overlap there was, because you told us to send like 2. I want to know if we all were like, oh,
The
this
same
fucking
ones.
one.
They
No,
were
it was
all
pretty
different.
diverse, yeah.
Oh, good,
Not a
good.
single overlap.
Yeah, lots of different favorites. But we'll get to that part in a little bit. Before we get to all the good stuff, all the question answering, we'll do our usual spiel in anticipation of season 2 once again starting next week with all kinds of new stuff. I will get to do this for the last time, which is to say, if you're jumping in, what?
This is last time.
If you're jumping in, now's
Wow.
such a great time. We're starting a new major story arc, and it's going to be coming with a brand new intro, which is looking so good. New music, new character art, new overlays, all kinds of great stuff. We'll have some behind the scenes for that as well, which has been such a learning process, both good and frustrating.
You're looking at me when you say that.
Well, yes, you've been more
You
frustrated.
can hear me animating down the hall.
Keep right!
And the sigh of hit film crashing from the other.
No.
Bring it up right now.
Oh no.
This is a time of joy, Matthew.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, that's a
Why would you do
nightmare.
that?
But that's all forthcoming. I'll throw it over to you guys to do the usual, please.
Point. Just kidding, idiots. There's no
Oh, there's
quest
no
today.
quest.
Oh, you
Wow.
got God?
No, I knew there was no. I was gonna say maybe there was something else there.
Nah.
Uh-huh.
Nah. You
Like, click on that and you get a.
Can I tell if he's lying?
go ahead.
I rolled a 9 on my deception check.
That's no good.
Terrible.
There's no quest because it's a talkback. I got nothing for you there. Go for it.
Okay, if you missed this episode, we're still gonna post it as a podcast. They go up every Tuesday morning. We're also, I think, still gonna air this on YouTube again, right?
Yeah, 5
5
p.m.
p.m. every Friday. We're gonna air it on YouTube. I forgot to say the thing. If you listen to it on podcast, you can find it on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon,
Yes.
and all the other places you get podcasts. But we're still gonna re-air this on Friday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. We'll be in the chats making fun of us, making fun of each other, making fun of us in the past. So it's gonna be a whole
Very meta.
thing.
Whoa.
That's
A lot of you probably found us on social media. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter at tabletopnotch.
yes.
Feels good to
I
say.
know.
So
All of them
good.
now. All of them.
Feels so good. And join us on Discord as well.
Yes.
I think it's in the chat right now. To the link. Help me. Yes. Help me. and find us there. That's where a lot of these questions that we're going to be answering tonight came from. Thank you all. There's a ton of people there posting great questions, talking to each other about the show, past shows, current shows, posting fan art. So please come and see all the awesome stuff that all of you folks are contributing. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And now Riley with the weather.
You know what? I was not prepared for this. I never had a job before, and there's an M&M in my mouth. So
That's the
That's the
temperature of
weather.
things.
Today's candy is.
Yes.
today's candy it's peanut butter M&Ms.
I think it's a peanut butter around now.
Yeah, they're very good.
It's a medley.
10 out of 10. Recommend.
Peanut butter and cookie M&Ms.
Yes. Medley.
Also, yeah, people are saying if you guys want to dress up at home, dress
Oh
up
my
at
gosh.
home.
Dress up at home.
Please do.
Or dress down.
Or dress
Or
down.
dressed. Be naked. We don't care. We don't judge. Do whatever you want.
It's a different
Anyway.
stream now.
Before I suggest further chaos, I will dive right in. Okay, so we got while we were offline, we had Pink Squash 702 subscribe as well as Defiled subscribe. Johnny Gadfly subscribed and then gifted 5 subscriptions. Shades of Blue resubscribed. Welcome back, friend. Butterfleech.
months, too.
Yes, lots. They're one of our silly generous. Butterfleech 33 gifted a sub. Poco Doco did 200 bits. Viking Plague 88 did 120 bits. Banished Raven did 100 bits. And Cool Schaefer coming in hot with the 500 bits.
Thank you, guys.
Boom.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Very
much.
exciting.
So generous. Thank you so much. And was there one other shout out to one of our YouTubers?
Oh, yes, there is.
Yes.
There is.
There's someone, I'll stall because I'll explain.
Please.
There's someone on YouTube who is chronicling the episodes with timestamps on YouTube, like scene by scene. Apparently this is a thing
wow.
that some other streams do, or someone does it for them, which is incredible. Lando is apparently the name.
No,
that was the name.
Flando, no?
No, yeah, it's
What did I mess up? I mixed
it's
up
not
a
Lando,
letter.
It's something else. But that is incredibly helpful to the viewers and to us. So thank you so much. It's only on a couple episodes now, but it seems like they're doing it going forward.
In the comments
The-
where you can click on.
Yeah,
Yes,
we've pinned the comments.
For us,
holy
the
shit.
username
my
is
God.
Jeremiah90526. So it's like every 5 minutes, there's like 20 or 30
shit.
timestamps an episode, which is absolutely stupendous. Thank you so much for doing that.
It's
We
an
would never
awesome way to
expect
like
that.
figure out what you're looking for in an episode, or if you're trying to jump back in and doesn't.
Or if we're
was
trying
right,
to
it was
look up something
Flando.
we said.
What?
It was Flando. Sit
Flando.
down.
I thought you
Flando.
said Lando, but
Flando.
Flando.
There we go.
Philandering.
But anyway,
That's
ours
the
is
other.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's not.
We don't care about Flando.
But yeah, thank you.
kidding, we're very
Totally
excited.
selfless and extremely helpful.
Wow.
So
Yes.
we wanted to
Pretty
give a
awesome.
shout out.
Yes.
So more of that to come. Yay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, we're gonna throw it over
Oh my god.
to the intro for the last
Piece of ancient history.
time. It's going into the vault after this.
That's pretty wild.
So-
A hard drive.
This better be good.
It's going into our-
My hard drive's called the vault. We're gonna throw it over to the intro. When we come back, we'll dive into some questions. So enjoy this final rendition of season 1 of A Peek Beneath the Veils.
Nailed it.
Here we go. We'll see you on the other side.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Not.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed. You'll never see it again. But don't worry, the new one is incredible.
Wait. I want you to know I just re-recorded that, but just with like different instruments.
And I
Yeah, yeah.
drew
It's
stick
that, but
figures.
metal.
Done.
It's just Fantastic.
All right. As D&D always should, it's going to begin with the roll of a dice. Who has the highest initiative in the group?
I have
don't
plus
have
3.
I have a +1. You have a +3?
Yes,
I
I
have
do.
plus 3
I
as
think I
well.
do have the
I'm
highest
plus 3.
initiative in
No,
the
I'm
group.
plus 3 dexterity.
Oh, you little bitch.
All right. Well, you two roll
Do we have
off
to
for me.
deck it out? Duke it out?
Yes.
What the hell is
Deck
that?
it.
First, you have to win, and then you get to
Here we
roll
go.
the question.
Let's throw us another
Well,
D20
first, we're
here.
just going to roll for a good opening question.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, you roll to win.
Nat 1.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Those could have been your first rolls of season 2. Just
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Right now,
Saphira,
like a person.
please start us off, and I will. I'll give you a
Okay,
question here.
question.
Please roll.
Oh, we
That was
rolling
just
on the
me.
fly?
Oh,
What am I supposed to do?
Well,
Or is she too far?
She is a little far from.
Throw it. No.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
He's here. Oh, I see. You have a camera for that. 19.
19.
Ooh, 19
All
today.
All right. Go ahead.
Go,
Yeah, no, please, please.
All right, number 19.
Why do I feel like I'm getting
We have
interrogated?
20 questions that are all kind of generally toward the team itself, so we figured we'll like go ahead and roll a d20 to determine who gets to answer it. So, number 19. Submitted by Echo on YouTube. Thank you, Echo. Are the D&D characters similar to your personalities?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I think in certain ways for all of us, I think it varies person to person who's more close to their character.
And Saphira.
I think I'm probably closest to my character.
You think
I
more
don't
than
know.
anyone else?
I don't know.
I
I
think it's
don't
between
know.
you two.
I think it's probably
Who him?
I would agree to that.
I don't
That
know.
you're similar to Graven Ilvigo?
See, this is the thing. He's very stoic. You're not very stoic.
Okay.
This is true. He's not very
Personality?
funny. You're very funny. You're very charming. He's not very charming. There are a lot of differences.
Basically,
I'm
Graven's a
just
piece of
saying.
shit. Graven would have.
No! We love Graven. But I think that you as a person, as Anthony, don't like in your day-to-day... Me as Riley, I do in my day-to-day life have rigid thinking. and I'm awkward with people. And there are some similarities there for sure.
And squeal every time you see an animal.
I mean, I
Yes.
agree that this was a good one for you to get. I think that Riley and Saphira are the closest of the characters, of the people to their character.
Probably, yes. Yes.
Does anyone feel especially like some aspect of them is extremely different than
I
you?
feel like we're the most different.
Yeah, you guys are very
And
different.
what in particular?
I'm shocked.
shocked by
I'm
the-
truly
the Graven
shocked
Anthony?
that everybody's not like, oh, Graven and Anthony.
Well, I
Oil
guess-
and water.
I guess if you're talking about, is the question personality or is the question like
Similar to your personality.
Similar to
Similar
your
to personality.
That's the brief.
I guess I'm thinking, yeah, you're thinking more about like maybe decision.
Personality?
So sorry.
No, I don't know, like
What?
the.
You are the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
All right,
and Graven.
I will say, this is what I think about often is that Anthony is someone who will.
We're off to a killer start.
Oh my god! Will interrupt.
What?
I'll jump in more than Graven will probably sit back and wait
Oh,
to hear
sure.
everything.
Well, that's if we're in an escape room or something, which we've learned
enough.
about Anthony.
Okay, all right, you're right. Personality.
I would say as a follow-up to this, is there aspects for anyone of yourself that you find yourself fighting against when playing your character?
Yeah.
that you'd be like, I would say something or step in there, but my character wouldn't, or the opposite. Is there something in particular you find yourself fighting against?
I do, actually. I think quite because there are moments as a player where I would maybe do something more reckless, or I would do some. You know what I mean? I would do
The fun thing.
a little bit more of a fun thing. But I think since Saphira takes this very seriously, it doesn't feel right for me to do. Yeah.
I think earlier on, maybe, right? Like, but I think now there's a certain amount of like, oh, this will be fun. This is what Erlen would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Erland has learned to pick and choose when to take the interesting route rather than the right, and
Yes.
but not even in like a sneaky way or like underhanded way. Like he doesn't always take the direct route if there's time that allows for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was harder when we first started because I think Erland is very different from me. I think.
Yes,
You don't think so?
yes.
I didn't say shit.
You answered these all differently.
So I think earlier on it was this like, it was a lot actually harder to do the thing that may have fucked over another player.
Yes, yeah.
Because like, not fucked over, but like the like backhanded thing, the slimy thing, because there was this, and like the first episode's a really great example. There's no way fucking Erland would have been like, Grimari.
Oh, it's so tasty.
It's like,
When he talks about it for the first time.
For the first time,
Wow.
yeah,
It was
that
like
was like-
GGP216. Let me read
Yeah,
my
hold on, let me-
backstory.
my
word for
backstory
word.
right here.
So there's this guy named Grimari.
yeah, but like that's because like first time I'm playing D&D, I'm like, oh yeah, we're making a thing
very
together, let's do
generous.
it. And now I think if that happened, I'd be like, no.
Well, okay, to be fair, and I've thought about this because obviously in hindsight, you were sitting there and you're like, "Ooh, I hate that I did that." I imagine, right? Not you hate it,
Yeah, like for a few episodes afterwards, I was like, man, I wish I kept that secret. But like the Grimari thread's been so fucking fun.
but do you think that it's possible to say, but I would imagine you would have said that you recognized it and maybe just not added all the personal connection that you had. To
I think
it.
he
I don't think
specifically blames me.
exactly. Like,
I think, yeah.
right?
I may have,
Would you
I may
maybe
have
opened up?
sat on it until Erland sits on things
Damn.
always
Oh my
like
God.
5 episodes too long. I'm gonna
my
get someone in
God.
trouble. I think I would have sat on it until like the Mull for wine tasting. And then like when it became like obviously pertinent, I think I would have been like, hey guys, there's this, what was the writer's name? Samuel Precus?
Yeah.
I think around when I had to do that stuff, I would have had to have opened up because I was trying
Yeah.
to get the book
This
with you.
This is the thing, though, is that was it even you that probably made the next step with Preakness? Was it somebody else who had the information because you were forthright that was able
Well, we
to
don't
take next
know
steps
who-
with it?
We still don't know who slipped the note at the Mall Fair tasting. Do we?
God,
I can't remember.
don't.
I don't think we did.
still
We understand so little about that time.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Marvin Bishop never said he didn't know how that got there.
I think really early on in any campaign, especially when we were playing together for the first time,
Yeah.
you cling to your backstory because that's all you have,
Yeah.
right? It's like, and as soon as a detail comes up, which I obviously intentionally incorporated so that people had something to go off of, when you don't have a foundation yet of what your place is with the group, like you're like, oh, a backstory piece. I should put that into the situation because that's what I have available to me at this moment, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
And it's also like I think the first time playing D&D, you put so many like threads of puzzles and stuff in those first couple episodes that there was a sense of like, oh, we must solve all puzzles together.
Yeah.
That is the
We're gonna
only
get
way
to
we
the
will
bottom of
solve these
everything.
puzzles. And like I think as we went on, I learned that there is fun to be had if like the puzzles are being solved together. But like maybe I'm solving this part of the puzzle myself, and then they're solving this part of the puzzle myself. Jordan hates that.
I think everybody
it's-
does
it's
that.
true.
Everybody finds parts
Yeah.
that they'd rather
Like go off
explore by themselves
first.
Yes.
And I think that like that was just like a muscle that
I
we
also
hadn't
think
flexed yet.
it took me a long time to learn because it was one of the like I didn't have that much experience playing D&D, and you don't know that there are no rules until you really sit down. Like there are rules, right? But there are fewer rules than you would think that there would be. And I think like
Especially
that was
like linear follow.
yeah, as far as like what you have to, no one's telling you what you have to do. You have to make a decision. I think all of us in the beginning had moments of like, can I just do this thing? And you'd be like, yeah, you can just do the thing.
The wine
Yeah.
tasting where like we were running around the back. I remember saying to Matt like after the episode, I was like, well, what if I would have just ran into the cornfield? Matt was like, well, then you would have run into the cornfield.
I don't know. Someone might have gone looking for you.
I could have done.
Like,
Kudos to Matt for having a framework that had so much
Yeah,
room
yeah.
for.
I mean, the early
playing.
episodes had a lot of structure, obviously, on purpose. But I think very quickly, even quicker than I anticipated, you guys learned, especially as we hit Urinshupa in the city, you guys started to learn like, oh, okay, I can like go somewhere and do something and come back, and I don't have to stick to the group and the one main objective thread that's going on this whole time.
Oh yeah, you missing half an episode and coming back with a whole 8-hour Robert Bastille side quest that happened off air. I was like,
That remains,
Well, that's
one,
not
that
fair.
remains one of my
I gotta
proudest moments.
I gotta set this shit up. out because he just played a game by himself. That was
there was a lot of-
insanity.
That was, I think, the last time the party let Erlen do exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Ever since that moment, everyone's been
Never
like,
again.
no, hold on,
Never
hold on,
again.
tell me the whole thing first.
What are you doing? No, you have to explain everything first.
What does the piece of paper say? It's in your hand.
just-
What does
yeah.
it say?
What does
Read
it
it
say?
to me now.
Oh my
Just
god.
read it.
That might be my favorite moment of all time, actually.
It's very funny.
DM. Should
Oh,
we?
are you picking one?
I don't know. Are
wanna
you? You're
roll?
not rolling for these ones, are you?
No,
These aren't properly
you
labeled.
can pick one. I even made some notes on some of them because I wanted to give a thoughtful answer.
Well, since we're
Opposed to all
kind of
these
talking,
garbage answers.
Shit answers that you just gave.
since we're talking about the beginning of this process and
Yes.
like earlier episodes and stuff, Dude on Discord asked.
Nailed it.
I'm sorry.
That's so
That was
great.
Due Day on Discord. Due Day on Discord. Thank you.
So
Dude on Discord.
Due Day in the chat. Due
Day.
Day in the chat.
Going way back to the beginning, how did the process of designing everybody's homebrew go?
Yeah, the homebrews were all designed for two reasons. One was I don't like when a campaign blows through levels very quickly. I'm sure people who are watching our campaign are aware of that. So you have to find ways to make the lower levels a little more dynamic and interesting so people have things to do and abilities to have that aren't just their base skills. Because I find that actual levels in D&D, you get so powerful so quickly that a lot of things become very trivial unless you're fighting like the most powerful demons and gods of all the world.
Demons.
So I wanted to incorporate that, which is like something extra bit of power, abilities, and maneuvers for people to do. And each of them, I think I took aspects that the player wanted that were missing or underdeveloped in the characters themselves. Like for Saphira, she wanted to be able to, she loves animals,
Creatures.
but also frequently talked about how she likes to be the one who jumps into the fray. And as a ranger, she doesn't
Can't do
always
that.
get to do that. In fact, her most powerful attacks are from afar. But the Animus bow gave her a way to kind of jump in using a form that was different than her own. So it mitigated the risk of kind of jumping in. For Erland, when we first talked about creating your character, you said you didn't want someone who did magic. Specifically someone who didn't want to do magic. And what I like about the sepsis ability is it gives you an ability that is kind of magical, but Erland also has disdain for it. Like he has disdain for the magic that he has. And it's not too magical. It's mainly like, just some extra combat ability. So yeah, it's not like
Nasty
true
plant
magic
Druid
stuff.
Yeah, that was the only thing you were like, is there anything you like or don't like? And I was like, I fucking hate magic.
And one would imagine that Erland's disdain for magic has only grown since it's affected him in such a
His
way.
character that I haven't thought about is that he just hates people who use magic.
I think he hates people that use magic.
He likes me.
It's like a well.
Distrustful of magic.
all right.
He's seen it do bad things.
Oh, brother.
Oh, because all good people you don't use magic. You're so good. Because you're so good.
And then the final character homebrew was the Reaper form, and that was a way to shift Orba out of that like innocent and childlike. She has this kind of Reaper status, has a kind of grim importance to it.
Yeah.
So that gave her a way to show that other side. So that was the thinking behind the homebrews, was incorporating some aspect that seemed appealing to each person, and Graven's to be determined, perhaps.
I've had a few little pieces of things that I've been able to. Well, mostly I'm probably so far the person who got inspiration the most.
Yeah.
True.
That and I've had a little taste of now I have a different always prepared spell.
Yeah,
Which is like the
you have
closest
a-
thing to a
What do you
homebrew
have
for
now?
me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
I no longer
It-
have
it
scorching
took
ray,
away one of his light
Right,
spells,
right, right.
and it gave me a life spell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're more scorching.
I mean,
ray.
spiritual weapon is any
yeah,
cleric
that's
can
spiritual
use it, but he
weapon.
hasn't
Yeah, yeah.
always.
Exactly.
prepared.
Both of them were available to me, but one is now always prepared, while the other
Yes,
one I would have
because
to
Grom the
prepare.
Gale has
Yeah,
sunk his teeth into Graven's essence, as it were.
snuck his weapon into my scorching ray hole.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh, boo.
Yeah, so that was the process of designing everyone's homebrew. That's pretty much the thinking that went into it.
Love it. Shall we
Yeah, let's
Game?
do another
roll,
one.
or do we need to fight it
Yeah,
out
what do we
about
need to
something?
do?
What do we want to do?
Who wants to fight?
Well, why don't we, for the three people that have not answered a question.
Shut the box.
Yeah, you want to shut the box and
amazing.
see
Oh.
who shuts the best box.
Amazing.
Some D6s. Do you need some? Or do you have some?
I have one.
Yeah,
I'll
you
be
just
fine.
need 2d6.
Hopeful optimism. I'm writing down your question. Also, Slade2187 did a bit. I forgot to say that at the top. My apologies.
Is this the music?
It was
that you
the
kept-
in music.
This was the music you kept hearing when you kept
waking
fucking.
up.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
and then
try
I
and keep mixing the music up so we don't keep hearing.
and then
the
I
same
killed
shit
you all.
over.
Is
In my
this the
dreams.
song that plays automatically every time I turn my car on when you're with me?
No, that's because it's alphabetically first. So if
Every time I
Yep.
turn on my car,
it's
blaring D&D music.
as soon as you plug it in, it's
That's
Oh!
so annoying.
because on my iPad it's alphabetically the first.
You gotta
thing.
start the car like it's a horse. Just getting up out of there.
But we won't listen to that for now.
I was just curious.
That is a
yeah.
fun one though. I
A
do
little
like
behind
that.
the
it's a good
scenes
one.
look.
Let's bring up the map.
Jordan has a car.
On this one. There we go.
FYI. A sneak. This just in.
All right, you guys know the rules.
We do. Are we gonna roll for who goes first?
Yeah, sure. Give us a little D20 roll.
Oh, D20.
Yeah.
Roll a 6.
That lowers your odds.
4.
JoJo.
I'm going. There's questions.
Here,
What
you
am I
can
doing?
Just use this.
Just D20 to see who goes
16.
16.
first. 16.
You got a
and
16?
Yeah.
Reroll them.
Another 16, different die.
Nat 20.
Oh. So we'll go John, Jordan, Anthony. So let's shut that box. Here, wait. We need a more fun.
Do.
Do I have
Josco music.
Which was Josco music?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, what was Josco music?
Is it this?
Bum slave music?
I think
Receive
it's this.
Slave.
Why didn't I say that as
Receive
my
me.
favorite?
Oh, that was a good moment.
Just you trying things at the door. All right, here we
this
go.
This is Josco's castle.
Oh,
Yep.
this
This
one
is
Oh,
when you
this
guys
is a-
entered the castle.
Oh, okay, this one is last.
Get the strategy already.
Ooh,
All
that's
right.
not a good roll.
That's a bad roll.
That's shit. That's
4.
shit.
Get rid of the 4.
All right.
Can you
that's-
remind me? You can't divide it any way. You can divide it any way.
Yeah, it could be
It's not
three,
just the
four. Yeah,
dice.
it does, and it could be as many cards divided among
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
want. Yep.
There we go. Let's kill that 8.
What is the
He's
number?
6.
ruining it.
Kill the 6.
Shut up.
That's another 8. Let's do the
What do you make? Oh, no, you have 2 options.
7 and the 1.
Okay.
Fucking 9's gonna dick me over. I can feel it. 8 again.
Well, you still
5
got
and
it.
3.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good.
There we go,
This
actually.
You need to roll
Sucks.
9. Yeah.
Or
Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, that was so close to Snake Eyes.
One and very
Two.
close.
All right, 11 for
2 was spinning too.
That was
Alright.
a bummer.
Is it me?
Yep.
Can I have some D6s? Thank you. Give me this.
Break them in for me. Whether those are new.
Oh, wait, I don't have to roll your dice
I
for the
said
first
break
time.
them in for me.
He doesn't want his luck all over.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
Don't
don't
put
want
your
my
bad
season
luck
1
under your
lock
die.
all over it.
7. So, how do we play this game again?
You can.
What's good? No, like what's the what's
Get rid of the middle
You have
numbers.
to have
first.
your own
Get rid of-
strategy.
Get rid
I'll
of
get
all the
rid-
middle numbers.
I'll get rid of the 7.
Middle numbers.
I can't tell if you're fucking wrong.
Maybe.
4.
No, do that.
Ooh, that's
That is no good. Let's do the 1 and the 3. 7 again. Shit. We're gonna.
There's only
Am I
one
fucked?
option.
5
No,
and
there's
2.
only one option.
5 and 2. That's 7 in my brain. 4. Close out that 4, BB.
This is tough.
This is a tough
6.
board. Oh!
Watch me.
Not a good board,
smoke
bud.
it.
Nope, nope.
5.
17.
All right. Oh, right, because you want to get rid of the big number, because then it has
Anthony, it's time to
Yeah.
shine. Oh, 5. Come on. I'll do the 5.
Okay.
John told me to do the middle numbers. 6. 6. I'll do the 6.
Single 6.
7. I'll do the 7.
Okay.
3. I'll do the 3.
Okay.
10. 9 and 1.
Fuck, that's
No,
huge.
wait. Yes.
Yeah.
That's huge. Huge.
All right, looking for an 8 here. 10. Wait.
You got it. You've already won.
I only roll 1 die.
You only
right?
roll
Because
1
it's less
die.
than
Yep.
6.
You gotta hit the
Shut the
4.
box.
The box. Oh.
6.
Oh.
All right. Wait, so what do I win?
You get to answer the next question.
All right, I'll roll for that.
Yes,
a question.
please.
9.
Okay.
9. I'm writing down another question.
Yes, I
Would you
can.
mind?
Sniff
9.
the roll when there are no stakes.
This is a good one. This is from Duda as well. Oftentimes, chapters cut off right at the top of battles or in the middle of one. How often, if at all, do you strategize outside the game? And is there a thread that Matt is not allowed into?
Secrets are no fun. No. So there definitely has been strategizing outside.
Oh, yes.
I think. I would say most of the time it's like when we leave, we're like, all right, we have to talk about this. And then maybe little to no talking might happen. Sometimes. Not always. But there are definitely times where we've had like text threads, either between just one player and another, or I wouldn't say that there is a Matt exclusive thread.
I started one a while ago. No, like I feel like there was one thing maybe before like chapter 40 when like all of the real big conspiracy stuff was happening that we were all really freaking out about, and I'm having a hard time remembering what it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was an effort to try and make it so I couldn't see what
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
Mainly so
We were
I,
gonna
my
blow up
phone
your
didn't
phone.
blow up every second.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I try to do my best not to let anything like I don't let discussion affect what I would have done in the battle.
Yeah, Matt is a
Pillar of neutrality.
He is. It's amazing. I would have such a hard time. I am the worst secret keeper. Lo will be able to tell you this. I can't. If I was running a game and I had the info that Matt had, I would be the worst with it. But again, that's
because he hears us like
oh yeah, I'd be like,
trying to figure stuff out.
you're on something. Yeah, that would be me. But
I
Matt is
see.
very good about keeping it tight.
Oh, it's awful. It's the most awful poker face ever because you'll be like, is that right?
I would
Is
say
it? Is it?
It's the best. It's the best poker face. But okay, so yeah, there definitely has been times that we've strategized outside.
Is there a battle specifically where you felt a
Yeah.
lot of strategizing went into? Because I feel like the longer discussions have not been.
It was the one you
Fight
were in a part
related.
of that I think had the longest strategy.
The what?
The battle that you
Oh,
were in
that
a
was,
part
and it
of.
was because
It
we
was the
didn't have
cabin.
you. It was because we were worried about not
which
having
ended
our
up
healer.
being a battle,
Oh,
but
yeah.
a different one.
It was the cabin when,
When
you
you
and
and-
BZ
You were fighting with Mohan
Mohan.
Fowler,
Yeah.
and they were
we
fighting.
ambushed the cabin.
We were like, we're not going to be able to make
That
this
was a
without
long
BZ
text
in.
thread.
That was
Okay.
a very
Great
long
one.
text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Then I
then
was
we
not
really
right.
strategized because we were like, we're worried we're going to die.
Yeah, that wasn't
you didn't have your
mid-battle, but it was
cleric.
pre-battle,
Yeah,
and there was
exactly.
a
We
lot
had
of.
no
battle,
heals
Erland was
other than our
drunk.
potions and
Erland
stuff.
was
Erland was drunk.
Couldn't shake it off.
Erland was drunk. That was we should have died, frankly, in that fight.
I think you and
You
I
had,
also
you
had
the drop on him. So.
we
Yeah,
had a
we
pretty
did.
hefty chain when we were trying to infiltrate the Natural Studies Institute.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I think we had like a whole.
That's true.
I will say that like
Circumstance.
any time we have a text back and forth, we also do it on air afterwards.
Yeah, because we got like
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
we like we do all the dumb ideas via text, and then usually narrow it down to like maybe 2, and
Dumb
then
ideas.
think 2 slightly less dumb ideas, and then sort of decide
Depends
between
on the occasion.
those on air, so that the whole episode isn't 3 hours of like, okay, she's gonna become a tortoise that's gonna explode the cabin, and then
Oh
they'll
my
have
God.
nowhere to
The
hide.
number
That
of
idea
bad
made it
ideas.
deep into discussion.
Like,
It did. It
that
made
idea
it too
stuck
far.
around for
It made
days.
it probably too far.
I liked it.
If she became a tortoise, would they all get pressed up against the window and have nowhere to go?
Oh, it wasn't
Grappled
a good idea.
or yeah, I would say that for the most part we do use the improvising. Like we keep it very spontaneous, so there's not a lot of like step by step, I would say, prep, even if we are talking
I'm
outside.
gonna say this.
And then ultimately,
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah.
usually throws some bullshit at us, so we have to.
Oh, I almost always walk into an episode with a game plan of what I'm gonna say and do, and then as soon as someone starts talking, I'm like, I'm not doing any of that. Can't. It's not possible anymore.
There's been, I should have, like, there were some very good questions about, like, what's a situation where you thought was going to go a different way and it, went one way and you thought it was going to go a different way. But I think another interesting thing to think about that I should have put more time into is thinking about when things went exactly to plan, because it does happen occasionally, and I would say the cabin was one of the best
that's true.
ones.
Which cabin are we talking about? I'm
Was
sorry.
the
Again,
Radiran elves?
Erlin, Saphira, and Orbo were helping Jan Yol free his friend who there was like
spoilers.
In the middle of the night?
yes, that was the same night you guys fought Mohan Fowler on the other
Right.
coast.
With Mohan Fowler.
Yeah, that was actually that went really well.
Shockingly well.
Like,
That was the only thing
Yeah,
that
they
took
had
one well for us.
hostages, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they,
Honestly,
they lured out a couple
that
people
was-
ahead
You
of
should have played anything
time.
more.
That was tough. Mostly because you didn't have me. That's why it was very tough.
Oh god, the worst. I'll let Jordan talk about her plan for this one. The salt mine plan.
Oh, when we thought that you were down?
No,
When we came
where we were
back?
trying to lure out the guards who had
Oh
the
my
fucking
God.
guns.
Ballistas.
The
Yeah.
ballistas for the
So dumb.
Your
chest
distraction plan?
No.
I
The sexy baby.
Sexy baby holding gold?
That's come up a number of times.
I suggested having an attractive person distract them, and then you were like, "No, people are still too smart." And I was like, "All right, a younger like a naive, attractive-looking person." And then it just devolved into an attractive
Very
baby.
sexy.
And then you were
the
like,
baby
people
wasn't
like
persuasive
gold.
enough, so you have a sexy baby holding gold.
So Orba uses disguise self to
They,
become a
they
sexy
didn't
baby.
go with that one. Although that one,
That went to shit.
it did, and actually
would've been better
that
off.
was an interesting fight that the plan initially went off okay, but part of the plan was for Erlin to get on the other ballista and fire at them,
Yeah, yeah.
which worked, but
But
purely as the
couldn't
roll of the
hit.
dice, missed
Oh,
every
it's
shot,
awful.
and it ended up being really intense when it probably could have
Yeah, you
gone the
fucking
other
saved
way.
a lot.
Yeah.
And
You had to
then-
like jump off the
We did
wall with
chain
her.
rezzing. I think we rezzed like 4 different times.
Yeah,
just
it was
other,
awful.
Just each other.
It was awful.
And you ended up coming in clutch when you fucking just left the thing behind and finally just went in and started punching.
Yeah, I
it.
rolled well on
You
the,
rolled well on
the
the
punching.
and
Yeah.
Although we did
thank God
soften
you
them
did
up for
because
it.
we would have not made it out of there, I think. if
But
we
like
were
a couple of those
Crazy.
bolts hit, and that fight swings, huge.
crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This is a nice little transition for you if you wish. This was from Dom on Discord. I can turn spoiler off for like half a second, I'm sure. What has been your favorite encounter you made so far? It could be social or combat based, whichever you had the most fun, excitement for the players to reach it.
Yeah, I made a list of these because this is a great question, and there's so many good ones to pick
Spoilers?
from. Yeah, probably. Combat encounters, I made a list of a couple. The fight in Yannick's graveyard always stands out
Oh,
to me.
yeah.
That fight is very good for a number of reasons. It's first of all the scale swings completely different. Up until then, all of the fights had been little skirmishes in hallways, basements, in the
Yeah.
forest, a few creatures. It was the first one that was on this like massive scale, where like the entire graveyard was in play, and you could literally move throughout it wherever you wanted. It had the added drama of Erlin and Orba showing up late, so they showed up midway through the
Yeah,
battle,
that's
and the other
right.
people were like waiting for them to show up.
Oh my god.
And it had sort of
That
an
was
increasing
awful.
threat that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it had the cool kind of launcher on the roof of the mortuary that Saphira was using, I think, to
Yeah.
launch the canisters. So there was a lot of cool elements to that one that ended up playing out really, really well.
And grand finale.
The fucking
And
Oh.
Craven obliterated Yannick's
Craven
brother.
one-shots the big bad
Yeah,
boss.
the big bad came out of the kind of building, the
there,
mortuary at the very end, and it was supposed to be this beefy, high HP thing, and I wound up an inflict wounds and like just popped.
critted him.
Oh, it was
Pop. Oh yeah,
wild.
Yeah, it was
And
like-
I had just
rolled so well.
failed. I was like
Frightened by it?
frightened.
Yeah.
So I was
That was
running
it.
in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You were like low on health, and one of you were low on
Yeah.
health, and we're like, oh shit.
And then
Erlin didn't even know it. The guy died. Erlin's
No,
still
it's like-
running. And Craven's-
yeah,
80 feet per
Oh my
round.
god.
Truly.
yeah.
So that was an excellent one. Sorry, was there something else?
Oh no,
Would've
just
reached
I don't know if
to
anybody
5
even touched
episodes
it
earlier.
blasted it away.
That one, a couple other, the boxing matches at Leopold's Garrison. The Joella ones are good, but the one specifically in the prison at Leopold's Garrison, that's both one of my favorite social and one of my favorite combat encounters. Because the part where they keep clinching and Saphira gets to say a few words to Bourage each time. I also rewatched that, and the part where Bourage and you make eye contact and you try to lie to the guy who brought you there, to Rua, I think, Roa. And
Gonna be a good fight.
he's like, what was that? And I think you say, yeah, gonna be a good fight or something. I make you roll a deception check,
And
so
it was-
it's just the
oh,
sort of
I
added
wonder what happened there.
stress of that.
Yeah. That was really cool.
I had those.
We also had just gotten teased by so many Bourage appearances that we were like,
Just
finally the real
The real-
Bourage
Yeah.
appeared.
And we
Bourage.
learned the moments before the fight happened. It was like, maybe
No,
was that the
it was-
cliffhanger from the previous episode that I locked eyes with him, and then we went and we came back.
Did you give us a horrible cliffhanger
I
on
think that
Bourage?
was.
I think it might have been because I think you
I think
came
we
back and
found
you were
out
like,
the prisoner was named the
you were like,
Chimera.
you were sure
Yes.
it's Bourage, but when you locked eyes with him, you were sure it was him immediately.
And maybe that was the beginning.
It
of the
was not the
episode.
clip because I remember that whole description happened in one. It's like it's
okay.
Bourage, you're sure of it, you don't know
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
So-
that was
But
that
you
was-
know,
yeah.
and then the fight happens. God, I just had chills saying that again. That was
So-
such a good fucking.
that was very good.
It has to be.
The Razpu's barn was another combat again that had a very different kind of
bales.
feel to it.
Another Erlen kicking the can a little bit, trying to find a goddamn key.
Yes, it had kind of that B plot of trying to find the key while the rest of the combat is going on. That was fun. And as opposed to the graveyard, like locked in a tiny space with a million little things,
Yes.
as opposed to being in a gigantic space.
That was really fun. What were the things that we were actually fighting?
The
during that?
Dolgons, that's what they were.
That's
Yeah.
what they were.
And the goat goo was in the basement.
Goat
That's right.
goo.
The goo was in the
Oh, that
basement.
was the worst.
Terrible Goku.
I
Oh
rec-
yeah, I fucking
I recognize
almost
this
died in that one,
goo.
too,
Yeah,
actually.
that was really bad.
Yeah, got a little hairy in the basement there.
Yeah, you rested.
Social encounters I had written down, and I think we're gonna watch a little bit of this later. But the interrogations in the Genie Temple is one of my favorite social.
It is.
Getting everyone until that point, we'd seen the group get sort of questioned by authority figures like Polnick and stuff like that, but never A, in a one-on-one scenario, and B, never about their like personal, like they were jabbing at them and their personality and their personal I can't think of the word, like it wasn't about like questioning why they were there. It was like just to get them mad. So that was a fun
Those two Ganassi's went to a very special training facility
Yes,
to learn that
for
method of
interrogating.
interrogation.
Yeah.
And everybody had kind of different reactions
Yes,
to that.
each scene was very, very different. We always joke that it's just like it feels like the scene in Firefly when the Alliance interviews each of the crew members, and each scene is very, very, very different. Investigating the disappearance of Mr. 2 is some of my favorite social encounter. There's just like a lot of threads, some
Yes.
things found, and some
Craven.
things not
Detective
discovered all at the end. Yeah, Detective Craven.
not
Lots of
discovered.
things not
God
discovered.
damn
Oh, are
it.
you kidding me? Tons of things not discovered.
But a lot of good, like really put a lot of the pieces together, just not quite at the end there.
I'm just realizing we left that city and Mr. 2 is totally gonna like flood it or.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
got
for
some-
sure.
Yeah, Mr. 2 and the
Slowly.
Lemonade Men are going to take over the entire
Yeah, something
southern
terrible.
We'll
hemisphere.
come back from the north and be
It's
like,
gone.
I have faith, but
Or they're gonna
it's up to
float us either or
Thorsten.
something.
Like
It's up to
Thorsten
Thorsten.
is
They're gonna
the
ruin it.
only
oh no.
maybe the PI.
There's not going to
gonna
be a
come back
Steeder way when we come
like
back.
a different
Let's just put it
man.
that way. It'll be gone.
I saw him.
I've seen things you
I've
don't.
seen him. He no longer
Is
exists.
he Batman now?
Yes.
Thorsten is Batman?
Yes. It's canon.
And then one of the other ones, the Burmese Yord concert, I thought was
Oh,
one of my
yeah.
favorite
That
social
was so fun.
interactions.
We ruined it.
And then one very small one that when I was looking back at my notes is the tree in the Ackley Grove. That when you carve someone's name into it, it can tell you whether they're still alive or not.
I forgot about
That was like an interesting, because that's one of those situations as a DM, I have no idea what anyone's gonna carve into it, what they're gonna say about it. So
Who did we? Okay, I know who I carved. Who did you guys
Did you carve? Come on, I'll just watch it.
Wait,
back
was it a
later.
secret? Did you not?
No, I said who it was.
No.
Your
Was
lady?
it your?
No.
You lied about who it was.
It was your parent. It was a parent.
It was a parent.
And the answer was? Come on, it's all out there. You have to
Alive.
say it.
Wasn't it?
Oh.
Was your
It was father.
Father?
And
is alive?
he is alive.
Yes.
When do we get to do fan theories about our fellow castmates?
My memory is that I did Shangri-La and you said alive.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I asked about Wachi. If
Yep,
I asked
you
about
did.
and he was alive.
Still alive.
Yeah.
Did I ask about Gromari or Benji? No, not Benji.
We should have asked about Ben.
Gromari.
should have, honestly,
I asked for about
regrets.
Gromari, didn't I?
Wait, so they
should have asked for
all
Blom.
4 of ours were alive?
Should have asked about Blom.
Blum.
If I ever get the
Super
question, what do you
dead.
regret? I regret not asking about Blom and asking about Gromari instead. Because Gromari
It was probably obvious.
probably
and still,
alive,
Yeah.
but Blom is.
Unless Grimari had died really recently, you certainly had reason to believe he was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
well,
much
I
to
thought that
believe
maybe
that
he
long
had
is alive.
died after all the harvesting yard
Sure,
stuff,
after
which
he
is-
separated himself.
Which
from-
is
yeah.
because we heard so much Grimmari in the past tense. I was like, oh fuck, is this dude dead?
Yeah,
But in
that makes
retrospect,
sense.
she just said bomb.
Now that I think of it too, wasn't it like a non-answer because spoiler, I think Shangri-La is on another plane. Right now.
Yes.
And so wasn't there was it non-committal now that I think about it? Because what
Like
was
it-
the message that it would
it, like,
appear?
blurred.
disappeared.
No,
appears.
the name disappears.
Yeah, you carve the name in the tree.
Didn't it
and
like
the tree,
hesitate and then disappear?
No.
We'll have to go back and watch.
I know, I have to go back.
Um,
Because with the tree, no.
What
if
do you have that
people are
chapter?
on
If somebody wants to go back and check it.
Other.
I don't, but I bet I can find that.
All right. We don't have to do it right now.
Anyway.
So yeah, those are my combat and non-combat encounters. A lot of fun stuff in there.
I like that.
All right.
Hmm.
We're working a little slowly through the questions.
Oh,
Let's go ahead
yeah.
and we'll do the second place of the shut the box.
All right.
So go ahead and roll a d20 for us.
16.
16. Let's flip this. Okay.
Let's gotta get out of
Oh,
here.
crap. This is also from Dom on Discord. Thank you, Dom. What has been your most impactful and or favorite NPC interaction you've had as a party or as yourself, and why?
Oh, I read that as what's my favorite interaction, either with an NPC or with the party. Is it either?
Oh, I get. Yeah,
Okay.
do that.
Great.
Do that. I apologize if that's not right.
Yeah, what's been your
Yeah,
main question?
it's the obvious one I think is calling Orba out on being
Sorry.
calling. I'm trying to answer the question.
I was trying not to.
She's allergic
Didn't
to
happen
bullshit.
first.
Before you launch, Pogodoga says, we asked Matt if it would work on other planes, and you said yes. Please.
The interaction where I figure out that you studied at the Halls of Transmutation is a favorite of mine. Because I've been sitting on it for so goddamn long.
When
I
did
was
you
waiting
know?
For it. John knew it before Erland did, and I forget, something happened the episode before where I was like, okay, now Erland knows. Because it was a piece of information that, like, I think I knew that Erland hadn't heard yet. And I was like, fuck, she was definitely in the Halls of Transmutation. I was just waiting for, I think, a couple things before Erland knew, and then I think I sat on it for a couple episodes.
God, it wasn't my
ask you.
stupendous poker face giving it like you rewatched an episode.
In episode 1, you basically go, "Ghoul!" when it's mentioned.
Well, I mean, Jordan always talks about after the stream that moment where who's he talking to when someone says you're awfully young to be a graduate of the Halls of
He's
Transmutation.
talking to not Keeper Picari, but no, Keeper Picari.
Is that who he's talking to?
Yeah, because you're trying to
Very
get into the
early on.
library
Yeah.
and you lie about some
Yes, and-
menial thing.
And the person says you're awfully young to be a graduate, and you said, "Oh, I'm studying abroad," and Orba's like. And then after the stream, she was like, "So, do people study abroad at the Halls of Transmutation?" And I was like,
No.
"No, they don't. That's not really a thing they do."
Oh, that was pre-Atonement Senderfield, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
that was
And
well
Keeper
before.
Picari was like episodes. Single
yeah.
digit.
I really like the interaction I had with Satyria pretty recently, where I was like, "Hey, how do you negotiate different personalities?" I thought that was
Oh, yeah, that was a good
awesome
one.
and touched on a lot of the stuff that I think is really cool about Erland in terms of like being stuck in between places. And we were talking about this the other day. This is like a quiet and a small one. I really like the interaction I have with Saphira after the battle outside of Josco's cabin when Erland's like, when Erland basically admits that he's never killed anyone
Does
before and
killing get
asks if
easier?
it gets easier.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was like another, and like Saphira being the sort of like war-torn veteran. I thought that interaction was really cool.
Pulled her
Yeah.
cigarette out.
Well,
Let
boy.
me tell you something, kid.
Never gets easier.
Those are the ones that come to mind. There are like other ones that other people have had. Like
Yeah, would have been a different answer.
I love the solo session with Ainsley and Graven.
Oh yes, yeah,
That we of course watched afterwards.
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, a lot of the solo sessions are pretty dope. Watching them afterwards, because yours and Salus's is pretty sick.
Well, it's fun
too.
because we very seldom get the opportunity to be on the outside of this, you know. So it's very fun when you
There's
have
only been
like,
those 3. I think,
yeah, there
right?
haven't
Or
been very many.
no, there was
Unless
one with
fourth,
Rainy
I
Kuros,
mean,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago when it was just the duo episode.
That's
Oh,
true.
and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is one an NPC and a guest. I fucking love the actually the last entire 10 minutes of Jordy's episode.
Oh yeah.
First, the conversation with the the genie, and then the conversation with the fisherman afterwards.
Yeah.
Both of those are so.
Oh, that's a standout.
So good.
Yeah, that was it. And, once again, and we said this to him after the stream, I had in my head, obviously, unless his character died in a crazy tragic way in the temple, to give him the choice whether to join the genies there or to be whisked away elsewhere. And I had no idea. I had never met the man before in my life.
That's right.
And so I was like, I don't know, I'll let him choose. So that was fun to figure out what he was going to do. And literally until he said it, I thought he was going to choose the other way. Because he starts off saying, my whole life I've wanted to fit in with my own kind or whatever.
I mean, I remember him saying after the episode, being like, I thought that I would have, if you had asked me at the beginning, but like,
Yeah.
he was so
I'd like to go to the mountains. We're going to the mountains.
Well, no. When we're leveling up now, I get sending.
Oh, we can send him a
But it might be too sad. I probably won't use it like that.
Do it. What do you mean?
He's gonna be dead. Super dead.
Oh, that's true. He was super old.
Oh, someone on our
Also-
Discord had some dope theory
Oh yeah.
that he died. Like he died and that was him reaching a different plane of existence. Like he was hundreds of years had passed, so he died, and the mountains isn't the literal mountains. He's on a different plane, and that's like.
So his option was join or die.
And the person fishing with him,
Guess
I
I'll
think
die.
Wow, what the
the
fuck?
person fishing with him was like his guide into the afterlife, which is someone claimed that was such a dope theory.
That is a great theory.
I can remember if that was
love
Discord or YouTube.
I
but
think it was
you're
Discord.
Right.
that's sad.
Yeah, right.
Jeez, what am I
Was there
doing?
something else?
No, I wanted to shout out a subscriber and then I lost it. Oh, Mahi gifted
Mahi.
a subscription. Thank you so very
Thank you
much.
so much.
My goodness. Did I miss something? No. Okay, great. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
I like that you started to backtrack a little bit. The Satyria and Erland relationship is a great one because of some of the reasons you were saying. I think Satyria has such a confident sense of like community and her place. She's like, these are my people. The Northerners, the Latrian Elves, like she's very one with her people, and Erland is very one who has no people.
Yeah.
So like that sort of
What a loser.
he sees
No
that in
friends.
her and recognizes that as a very desirable belonging quality. That
Yeah, she's like someone who's stuck between a lot of places but views it as a community, whereas I think Erland's someone who's stuck between a lot of places and views it as isolation.
yes, he has no home, and she's like, no, I have two homes.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
Ionis.
I have to go.
The theory was from Ionis on Discord.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Dude.
Perfection. Dude, you're killing it.
All right, you're the only one who hasn't gotten to.
Roll for question.
Do the
Yes,
thing.
and then we'll do another mini game or
Do
something.
the
But go ahead and
thing.
do the roll.
Natural one.
Natural
It's the
one.
hardest
Baby.
question.
This
I
is
can't
a
remember.
although good one
Oh,
for you.
Shit. Oh, great.
Oh, yeah.
How did you go about creating tabletop
Oh
notch?
God, you have to help me with this one.
What was the scariest part about beginning that challenge?
Oh God. Well, to be clear, I'll be speaking on behalf of Matt as well, because obviously we're the two producers of the show. The scariest part, probably performing. I don't know. That's really scary. Like, it was our first time like doing Dungeons and Dragons, and like learning it publicly while also trying to roleplay and tell a good story was like a little intimidating for me. But that, of course, is before we started building a set and realizing how absolutely miserable it can be and how wrong it can go. Spoiler tag.
Yes. This
I
is
like
a
that you leaned away, but I'm right here.
Spoiler tag can come off.
In the podcast, you have to go. He gestures. To
He's
spoiler
gestures
tag.
to the
Spoiler tag. Thank you, Pocodogo. That was definitely the scariest part. You came up with the name, which I always appreciate deeply, because anything I came up with was
We
garbage.
did bounce around a couple others, but I cannot remember what they were. I genuinely can't remember what they were.
They didn't make it very far.
No, they didn't. Tabletop Notch came in pretty early, and we stuck with that for. But there was a couple others that got floated. We very actively wanted to stay away from. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Anything that used like either the words roll or dice in it, because that's a very popular thing to be
Yeah.
like the role players or like rolling for something. So it's not that that's a bad name. We just didn't want to see if someone went to search for us that other stuff like
Now
come up
someone
very
needs to
easily
create a
for it.
stream called Rolling for Soup.
It's guys, the idea is
It's
out there. You
a
just have to
ska
take it.
theme.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
disgusting.
10 out of 10. Someone needs to do it.
I mean, we had played a couple home game
Sure, yeah.
sessions with and then sort of had the idea that we really wanted to turn that into, because I mean, I think all of us come from some degree of performance background, and the idea of having an audience, however small, just sort of has an air of performance about it. Like you have the cameras and it feels kind of like it has a different atmosphere to it than a home game, and they're very different and both great. Like I think home games can have a more casual atmosphere, which can be a blast, but we liked the sort of more
We
structured.
don't do casual.
Straight in suit. This was also how ready we were to make a show. Was if you haven't seen like our OG set when we were at like a space that we had to go back and forth from, we almost volunteered to carry the folding tables on the subway, which was like an hour train ride there and
My
back.
God.
And thankfully the person that had the space and let us use it let us like store a couple of like bigger pieces of
He
furniture.
was like,
but we were
"You
like,
could keep that in the back, I guess." And we were like, "Oh my god, thank you so much."
we're like, so we're gonna get the 4 cameras, we're gonna get the 5 6 microphones, the lights, all of it's gonna get in the subway every Sunday.
Yeah. Well, the tech I think was always going to stay there, but yeah, the tables was a game changer, being able to keep those there. Because we broke it down and set it up.
Remember when we had to take a big fucking Tupperware thing to the bar after every episode?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh
we took a
yeah,
big-
we would
Right.
carry. That bar. That bar is gone. Or
R.I.P.
else we would
bar.
say, go to
We'll
that
close
bar.
out that bar
It is
every
now a
Sunday.
Oh,
Is that what Popeyes?
yeah.
Oh.
It's not
Delicious.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah, but it's no
sponsored by
But
Popeyes.
bar
Yeah,
that
finger
smells
licking
like
chicken.
butter.
you.
Bar that smells-
Bar that smells like butt.
Oh, the bathrooms are always so wet.
Yeah, they were.
Shockingly wet.
And maybe the
It's
Popeyes
always
bathrooms
wet.
are still coming.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe there's a plumbing issue there.
So I don't know. What was the scariest part for you?
Yeah, I think definitely diving into, session 0 with people we'd never played with before and sometimes didn't even know all that well. We've ended up going with, when we were, discussing potential cast members, just the people who seemed the most enthusiastic about the project when we pitched it. Because this is a huge ask. To meet weekly for something like this, you have to really love not just the idea of, like, having a job or whatever, but the actual loving playing the game. And we simply went with the people that, when we spoke to them, showed the most enthusiasm for it. So
I've told this story before. Can I tell it again? So we approached everybody individually, and John and I were taking like an improv class at the time, and he mentioned that he played Witcher, so I was like, boom, got him. But so we went out for like drinks after a class or something, and we were like sitting there, and I was telling him about it, and like you seemed like interested, you were, but you're a polite Canadian, so I wasn't sure. And then I was like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And I get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm about to open the door, and I feel like a hand on me, and you're like, my girlfriend just stepped on a nail, I have to go to the hospital. And I was like, okay.
you were like, that's the worst excuse to get out of this conversation I've ever heard.
So I literally go home, and Matt's like, how was meeting with John? And I was like, I don't think he's interested. I was like, he said something about his girlfriend stepping on a nail.
My girlfriend was a good improviser. Yeah. She legitimately, she's okay.
Said girlfriend is okay.
My girlfriend at the time
Yes,
did
tetanus.
indeed. We had to rush her to the fucking hospital.
It was just, it happened so fast, and it was the weirdest thing to say.
It also was bad because you had like left, and it made it seem
Yeah,
like I
that's
was
what I
like, my moment.
I mean, I guess at least you like caught me. You didn't just like leave without
That's
saying
true. Imagine if you had just
Oh
come
my
back
God.
to an empty table.
Just a
Hang on,
cocktail napkin with sorry written on.
Or like the bartender's like, yeah, that dude just booked it. Like he ran.
that guy
Stepped
you
on a
talked
nail. I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he'd stepped on a nail.
You said you're going to pay the bill.
Tab.
I was nervous to meet you guys. I didn't know
We
anyone that well.
three had never met.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
We
He's
had
just
I had
for
only,
me.
I had only
Yeah,
met
sorry.
them in passing.
Yeah.
We are the only two people who had known every person individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met Matt once.
Yeah,
but only in regards to this project.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like I agreed to the project before I met you.
Yeah.
Because I remember you came to one of our improv shows.
Yeah,
It was
we
just
spoke
like,
after.
hey, I'm Adam Jordan's boyfriend. I'm running the DM.
and good day.
I was like,
Yeah.
That was Matt.
And then it was history.
That was it. Should we
And it was so
dig in?
scary. That was the question.
Oh, and it was
It was scary. It was very scary.
It was scary whether John's girlfriend at the time
Oh my god.
was going to
extra
lose the
scary.
foot.
She pulled a Home Alone and
She's okay.
he was okay.
She's fine.
Yes, you wanted to duke it out
Do we
for.
want to do that
oh
question?
my god. Pugilism. Do we roll for who gets to pugil?
Yes.
Yes.
Who doesn't
Roll
think
for
it's a
everything.
bugle?
All right.
I don't
So
know.
is it the top two numbers get to
top two.
Google?
Do we
Yeah.
need to add our initiative or no?
Yeah, just do it.
No initiative. Because I rolled a natural 18.
I rolled a 19.
I think it's going to
Probably
be
the two of us.
the two of you.
Yeah, it's
So
two.
who gets to definitely answer a question because they're playing?
Um,
you get?
Wait, it's me.
I know, I got an 8. so-
18.
Oh,
Yeah.
He means
19,
he's bad
18.
at it.
Yeah, so you two are
get ready.
Putin.
Get your question ready.
All right, everybody.
Oh, here we go.
It's been a long time since. I played
As
this.
we
you're gonna
set
figure
up,
out how
I
to
will
do it.
say, Angry Man with Glasses, AMW Glasses, is actually testing out something for our Discord based on one of the mini games that we just played, Shut the Box. It's going to be implemented. We just have to do some tests. I'm so sorry that I haven't logged on to do it with you. I apologize. We have to do that. We have to do that.
We're gonna do that very soon.
So once we play test it and make sure that it's multiplayer friendly, we're gonna implement it into our Discord. It's gonna be a little server and everybody can play Shut the Box virtually.
It's very impressive already.
It's super cute. They've taken the character art and put backgrounds on it, so every card has character art backgrounds. I cannot wait.
I'm so excited.
So go if you haven't
not
joined
helping
Discord
with
yet. That is going to be another
want
little
your
perk.
help.
Thank you so much for doing that. By the way, that's
Right.
just out of their own generosity, and we're just so grateful.
Health.
So
Yeah, so for those who don't know, this is a little mini game that we've played a few times in our campaign, a way to settle our disputes in a non-lethal way. It's called Pugilism. It's pretty much just a little mini game for boxing. So the way it works is players take turns kind of throwing punches, different types of strikes. They have defense cards as well. And the first person to knock the other, we'll just do first knockdown rather than two and draw it out.
But that's part of my
strategy.
part of my strategy is to go down.
Adjust the strategy accordingly.
Damn it, okay.
So the first thing they're going to do is roll for their composure. So we're going to roll a, let's make sure we
Usually
do
it's
everything.
your hit dice, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
let's just do an even one. Get a D10.
Oh, what's that feel like? Rolling a D10 for.
I think the only one who actually has a D10
we
hit die
never-
is Saphira.
That's
15 plus your roll there.
Shit.
We regularly don't roll
8.
these.
So that's your starting
So
15 plus
23.
that number.
15 plus 3.
Are you keeping track of it or?
I can keep track. If do you want to keep track for
I
both?
have.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have
I'm
paper
18.
too.
I'm 18.
Yeah,
18 to 23.
A stamina.
I just wrote 28, and I will.
great. And go ahead and roll for initiative as well. Actually, we'll just go with the roll. Who had the higher roll? Okay, we'll have John throw the punches
like
first.
that.
All right. So they get to choose 2 attacks and a defense, and each round takes place with them revealing their attacks and defense, and they wear each other down.
Cool as a cucumber, baby.
Difficult.
Oh my god.
You
Don't
make that
look at
same
me.
sound every time
You
you,
do
play
make
this
that.
game.
That's the Anthony Pugilism. But Graven's going very similar.
So
His
similar.
character and
Oh my god.
Here we go. Here it is.
So similar.
I'm a
Yeah.
changed man. I'm good
all
at
right.
this now.
So go ahead and hold them up as you do, just so we can see
Okay.
'em.
Attack number 1. Coming in with a head heavy.
Oh.
Reveal both of them.
And
at the same time.
right, and a head jab.
Counter the head heavy and bring it back, so you take half of that head heavy damage.
So 4.
So you go to 14, and how much did you? Wait.
And then a head jab.
How much did you spend
I spent 2.
Okay.
so you.
on everything?
2.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
jab
So
is
you
free.
go
jab
to
is nothing.
12.
Jab's
Oh,
nothing.
right.
Jab is free.
I negate the heavy.
I had to look
And he
too.
takes the jab.
You took.
Should I be keeping track?
I took 6.
We got it,
I
we
took
got
6.
You did, and I take from the
2.
jab.
2.
Yep, got it.
There you go.
12 to 21.
So a couple quick
Still
strikes. Turns around the heavy attack.
Someone missing a head protect?
Oh, you know it's not head protector.
No, it's too
Yes,
late.
I
I
know, it's too late.
already went.
All right, go ahead.
okay.
Anthony comes back with.
Body strike
Okay.
times 2.
Shit. Duck and weave.
No.
So I hit you for
Oh, boy.
I hit you for 8.
God.
You go down to 4.
And I use 1 to play. I'm down to 3.
So you are at 3.
Dude,
Can you double check?
Maybe
my
we'll
math
do
as I
2
this?
knockdowns.
And I will take 2, so I'll go to 19.
So what is it? It's 19 to
19 to 3.
19 to 3. Well, another important thing is you can't fatigue yourself down to 0.
Oh, I
Remember
remember
that.
that.
Yeah. So
he says arrogantly. Can I use my monk specials?
No.
Yeah.
are those even in
They're,
there?
they're in my
No.
body.
No.
No, he just wants to pull him out of his ass.
Oh, that's right. Wait, you have a pugilism specific card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a special
Still doesn't
card.
make me good.
Yeah, Sophia for winning her fights. Has,
You got the uppercut, right?
Yes, I think I have 2 special cards
Are
actually.
you ready? You ready?
yeah, you might.
Yeah, I do.
Head heavy times 2.
Footwork.
Negates both
Negate
of them.
all non-jabs. So you go down, I think, to 1.
Yes.
Right? And then
Oh my
I take
God.
3 for that. I go to 16.
You loser.
I also used footwork.
I hit you with 2 jabs. You're down, baby.
We'll do 2. We'll do 2.
I suck at this game.
Okay, that's in one.
Historically bad.
That's 1 knockdown.
Okay.
Roll for composure again.
And I'm
D10?
Yeah, D10
Listen
again.
ever.
You guys are playing this on a level that I don't fully understand.
Oh, Johnny Gadfly also gifted a sub. Thank you so
what
much,
did I do?
Johnny. You're at a
Thanks.
One gifted
Oh.
sub for a down.
6.
John.
Yeah.
So you're at
Throw down,
21.
John.
And I'm at 16.
So now you swap. Now
I punch
Anthony
first.
punches
Oh, good.
first.
What could possibly go wrong?
I can read your mind. I know your thoughts, John.
Now we get shit talk.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Body heavy
Okay.
No.
times 2.
Footwork.
Ooh,
There we go.
very nice.
So you lose 3, you go to 18. I lose 4, and I go to 12. And what do you got for me?
Erlen learning on the go.
Here we go. Head heavy times 2.
Oh.
General defense.
Both hits.
What is
16.
Yeah, I'm down.
There we go.
What did you spend though, you son of a bitch?
No,
that's
it's
it?
2 per.
Oh, 2 4. Sorry, 4.
4.
So 4. So you go to 14.
Damn, with the big
Dang.
stank.
Turn, man.
Now it's back to
Now you go back to punching first.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You have to roll your
Here we
composure.
go.
Oh, that's right.
Give me a whiskey.
5. Okay, so that puts me
21.
up to 21.
So what is it starting at?
21 to 14.
Okay, all right, this is
14.
doable.
Oh god, but one big.
I go back to
Come on,
throwing
you got
first.
this.
Yeah, you go back.
We believe.
Johnny Gadfly just gifted another sub. Thank you so much.
Another sub for a down opponent.
No.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the other thing you do all the time.
Oh,
no.
just constant self.
I picture in the middle of the fight, Graven being like, no.
Oh, it's a bad decision. Okay,
Nothing like second guessing yourself in a fist fight.
Why I oughta.
I'm throwing first
You're
now?
throwing first.
Okay. Head strike, body strike.
Body protect.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
so the head strike hits.
How much is a head strike?
Ooh,
Okay, I go to
baby.
16.
And I expend
Used-
2.
So you go to 12.
Okay.
Head strike times 2.
Oh shit, I used counter.
Ooh, the head strikes both ends.
Okay, so you take 10, you go to 2. I used up 2, I go to 14.
All
it is
right.
2 to 14.
That was a big oof there. That was a big
Oh,
oof.
that was rough.
Okay.
What do you go to?
Is that 13
I'm at
or
14,
something? 14?
and you are at 2.
Correct.
Oh,
Man down.
Is he smart? Is he smart? I will find out if he's smart.
Find out next time on Tabletop.
Next time.
Tune in next season.
Wait,
on
what does that
Tabletop
do?
Notch.
oh, next season.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Um,
Are you ready?
he's not ready.
I'm not ready. I'm not
There are no cards on that placemat.
Here we go.
No, there are not.
2 cards.
There's
He's
just
circling.
panic.
He's circling the arena.
Yeah, a
Jockeying
lot
for
of footwork,
position.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on.
I like that. I think we're both fighting in our suits. Graven
Yeah.
and Erlen.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
a fight
They're
club.
fancy. Yeah.
That sounds kind of hot. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Come
right.
on.
I'm throwing 2 head strikes.
Oh,
Duck and weave.
Ooh, they both hit.
How
10.
much? Okay. How much did you use?
1.
You are down to
Tell
1.
Wait, 2 head strikes? That's
Oh, 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck 2. 2. Sorry. 2.
Well, it doesn't
I'm
matter.
down to
He's
one.
down to 1 no
anyway.
matter what.
So you gotta defend this.
Head jab.
Okay.
Body jab.
Oh, general defense! Fucking eat it!
Wait. No, that only negates 1.
No, if both
if
attacks are
both
jabs, it
it
negates
negates both. also fight.
What are we in here?
We are at 1 to 4. You are at 1 and I am at 4.
And I swing first.
Did you? Oh no, it doesn't matter.
This
if
is
you
that
use
match
any.
nobody
Oh
tunes
my
in
God,
for. It's kind of on in the
Yes.
background. You're like, wait a minute.
The like 9th fight, and it's really hype. And he strikes first, so this could be it.
Oh my God. This is the worst day of my life. I'm gonna shuffle these 3.
I'm gonna shuffle.
I'm gonna
it
shuffle these 3.
so that
is
you can't
that?
blame your own.
This is
your
a-
own self.
Yeah, this is a religious
Weak.
experience now. Yeah.
Wait,
You should
Can't
roll
do a
for it.
random.
you're right. I can't do random. No, I want that one. I looked at it and I want it. I looked at it and I want it.
Oh my
Okay.
Come on, baby.
god. Well, all we need is an announcer now. Anthony with indecision.
All right.
Yeah, how you got it?
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Body strike times 2.
Body pretend. Okay, but this is okay.
Yeah, you still
okay,
gotta
I'm-
defend.
We're both still up.
Okay.
Go.
Body strike,
Okay.
head strike.
Footwork negate all jab. Anything but jabs.
Oh!
How much are you down now to?
We are both. Wait. I took 2. I'm at 2.
2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Oh my,
my
god.
Wow, this is hype.
Unbelievable.
Oh God!
Okay.
In the mini fight, it looks like there's clearly one that should be a winner.
Yeah, although Erlen's got
Jamming his
a
fucking
That's
kneecap.
actually true, yeah.
playing dirty.
I have to defend first.
Yep.
Wait.
Oh yeah, fun fact, Erlen's mini is actually a druid mini, and I
Yeah.
cut the staff in half.
That is a fun fact. Yeah, we didn't like the poses that the other ones came with, so we took off the like branches. Oh, there we go.
This is what you guys have been doing the whole time? This is great. This feels great.
Winning?
Just doing it. Doing it.
Okay.
Oh no, Erlen's gonna be
Ready?
He's a monster.
Body strike times 2 again.
Duck and weave.
And Erlen with the comeback of the century
Wow.
Unbelievable.
claims his first pugilism victory.
In a game that literally doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters.
Oh my god.
You'll always have this.
Graven will always. It's like a telltale game.
Holy
Yeah.
Graven will
shit.
remember that.
So now you have to think of a question.
Yeah, now you have to roll for a question.
Feels so
You get to
passive
ask
aggressive when they
Graven
tell
any
you that.
question.
Oh, I
You're
get to
like,
ask Graven any
You
question?
get to ask Graven a question.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
My character?
That's your reward. No.
That's my.
That's your
Yeah, we're just
reward.
gonna start
Go
our
and pick a
routine right
question.
now.
from
Yeah,
me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Hop into it.
What is?
Ew.
First
Yes,
Erlen
miss.
voice?
Yes, miss. Much deception.
That's a
miss.
deep cut if anyone knows that.
They don't,
They
because that
don't.
session's
Right. No one
I'm
knows
gonna-
that except
Erlen,
for us.
Erlen's voice was a little different in session.
I'm gonna ask this because I want to make sure it gets.
It's gonna make me
It
cough.
gets answered.
Ooh.
I want Graven to answer first, but I would also very much like, especially after the performance I just had, everyone can answer, please.
Okay, GF Powers just did 100 bits.
What's that?
I'm just squeezing in some.
Thank you, Jeff Powers.
Thank you, Jeff Powers.
Thank you, GF Powers.
Welcome back to NPR.
Fuck you, Jeff Powers. Thank you, Jeff Powers.
Okay, without
GH
spoiling
Powers.
any major surprises.
Oh no.
Graven,
Okay. Oh god.
or tricks up your sleeves.
Oh god. Okay.
What sneak peeks beneath the veil can you give us regarding season 2?
Sneak
Thank
peeks.
you, Duday.
Oh, ask your own question.
What? Oh. Oh, I. Okay.
No, we've committed.
Oh no, I thought he was
Oh,
picking
okay.
one.
All right, it's fine. I mean, thank you. Dude.
Sneak peeks. I mean, this is probably much more a question for Matt, I would imagine, in general. I'm going to lump this in with another question, kind of, that I remember. Not lump it. You'll see. There was a question about what we kind of, if there's something we regret or a way that we
Yes.
would have changed how we would have interacted. And I think for me, for Graven, there was a lot of Graven kind of, maybe spoiler tag, just being very tight-lipped, obviously, because of what happened when I did open my mouth and was sometimes literally struck down. I want to be a little more trusting of Matt, because I think I can do that now, where I think that there were some chances, and I'm sure that there will be some chances, for Graven to open himself back up to the power that has been offered to him a number of times. And I think that if I think back, and I don't even know if I have a specific incident, because some of them I'm very glad I didn't. Listen.
Are we gonna have problems?
Listen, but this is what I'm saying. Is I trust Matt now, because I always thought of it as a very black and white thing, and that I think is a Graven thing, is that like, if I ever open myself up to him, it will go very poorly forever, and that's it. That's the end of it. But I trust Matt now, I think, that enough to say,
That's
if
an
there was a
insane
little,
sentence.
I trust Matt.
because even just that time that I ended up having that cool fight with like the ghost versions of you is because I was like,
yeah.
okay, Guzny, show me what you got. And I don't think that was maybe literally the only time that Graven has done that. And so, if that's a sneak peek.
When you burned all that guy's food.
Oh, come on.
accolades
He asked
foods?
for it. He wanted me to do that.
I was gonna ask, is that something that Graven's just thinking I'll be opportunistic about that? Or is it like, when we get to this cold light walker in the mountains, I'm gonna ask for Kuzny's help?
Exactly. I think it's going to depend on the situation and whether I think I need the help. But also, there's just an aspect of it of like, Kuzny's tried so many times, and after so many times of Graven being like, no, fuck you, I might have to like lead him along a little bit more, is how I think of it.
Also,
Where it's like,
he's got-
you might be able to get me on your side if you butter me up.
Well, he's also got another special little baby.
Exactly.
A little baby cleric.
Okay, so
yeah,
again,
it's
sneak
in the
peek
baby.
is more of Matt's area. Are we gonna find the other cleric of
Cleric
Kuzny?
second.
And I'm sure that they exist.
What if it's one of us? What if Matt already sent us an email being like, hey, Erland, you are now
Yeah.
a cleric of
Saphira's sleeping at night and
Imagine.
she's like,
No!
Feel this fiery hotness within me.
Saphira would hate.
Yeah. No, God, no! That's scene from now.
So, I guess I know you didn't like that.
yeah.
No, I do not.
Yeah, that's my sneak peek. Is that I'll be more open to that. I think.
I want you guys to give some tasty sneaks.
Does anyone?
I want
does
tasty
anyone-
sneaks.
Sneak peeks.
Sneak peeks.
Things you're hoping happen on the way north. Things you think will happen on the way
Oh,
north.
I want another animal in my boat.
Another animal on the boat.
I obviously don't want anyone to die, but I also want someone to die and come into my boat.
All right, top 3.
I also really want to get my spell.
Tell your
top three
animals.
animals.
Top 3 animals you could get.
Snake.
Snake bow.
Because I love snakes.
A bare head with a snake
Also, because
body
I
would
feel
be-
like that would be useful for like stealth stuff.
Well, you wouldn't have to talk to rats anymore.
And I could have venom, maybe.
I was gonna say
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you
something
could have venom.
small
That'd
and
be cool.
mobile.
But I was
Like
gonna say that could be actually really useful.
squirrel or chipmunk.
Yeah, honestly, could be useful. Although,
It'd be awesome.
yeah,
yes, but then it
Squirrel
goes
body
back.
with a bare head. Top heavy.
I want something aquatic for sure, so I
totally.
can like swim or
Shark
underwater. Oh, because
whale
we are
would-
That
gonna
would
have an
be
underwater
especially
mission.
useful for what's coming up.
Yeah, so like
Oh,
an
shit.
octopus, whale, like
Octopus
or like
whale.
shark or something. Oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
I mean, on the way to.
I can't do bugs, right? They don't have little spirits.
You don't know.
You're claiming that bugs don't have souls right now?
No, I'm just asking if they in this game can
mainly
they be
that
like
the-
picked up, you know?
Yeah, the.
I don't think
It has
they
to be like a
can.
creature
Yeah.
in terms of like the
So, like,
index or whatever the
an
monster
uncake.
manual.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually think I could
An
have
uncake.
like potentially if there
It
was the
could
right
potentially be
circumstance,
a
because it has to
large-
be like this. It has to be spiritually, and it has to be deceased in the right way.
Yeah, it has to be a tortured soul in some way, so you can
Yes.
rescue it.
So that's 2, right?
So that's 2. I also want to fly.
Yeah,
so I would
flying.
like to have some kind of a bird or bat
An axe beak or something.
or an axe. Yeah, or
Giant
something
eagle.
powerful like. Yeah,
A
yeah.
robin with the head of a tortoise.
Oh my
All
god.
of these are funny.
All of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no animal combination that isn't hilarious.
Some
I'm excited for a lot of
snake
stuff
body
going up
with a
north.
head of something.
Oh my
else.
God.
Very frightening.
Not even frightening. I feel like it would be very goofy.
It wouldn't be able to
Because
move.
you take away any animal's legs and they look a
Well,
little
they
goofy.
scale.
I mean-
it wouldn't be the size of a bear's head on.
It's like
No, it would be either a very large snake body or a very small bear head.
Which one's better? I think the small bear head is more funny.
Yeah.
I think all I did when I was making Saphira emotes, because I was combining animal
Oh.
parts, I think all I did was laugh. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out which one didn't look ridiculous.
They all do. They all do.
Unless you get a good artist to like make it look ferocious, it always looks silly
what-
no matter what. You do.
What else would you guys
wolf body
want
would
to
pretty
be able
funny.
to transform into animal-wise? What am I missing? I think that's good.
you've
I want
covered
something
the
that
terrain.
swims.
Chat says
I
chimera.
want something that flies.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
Turn
don't
into a
know.
chimera.
I would love a big cat. That would be fun. Although I don't know
Like a
where.
very agile, like
yeah,
a wild
yeah,
cat.
like a
Oh,
wild
yeah.
cat. Yes,
For
that
like
would be
jumping.
super fun.
If you have
Yeah.
a flying
For
thing,
like
that'd be fucking cool.
flying
Snow
would be
leopard.
super cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, for the mountain.
Oh.
That snow leopard was cool as hell too.
That's such big paws.
Tease something, Jordan. Tease. Give us a.
Oh yeah.
Give us a peek beneath
Yeah.
the veil.
Peek beneath the veil,
Things that
please.
Orba's looking forward to, or things might happen while they're out on the.
When I was preparing, trying to figure out how to make like Reaper form clearly different than like how I execute my spells as Norba, normal Norba.
Norba. That's right. I forgot about
Rorpa and Norba.
Norba. Normal Norba.
Orba and Norba. I don't think regular Orba.
Also
or-
Orbas.
wait, no, Orba.
Reapers are true form.
Orba. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't see her.
I was trying to figure out how to like change the behavior a little bit so that it was like distinctly different than Orba, because like you said, like the Reaper form is very different than Orba's personality. So I liked when you were describing like the equilibrium of her and like the calmness. So I feel like a calm, maturing Reaper Orba would be a fun like thing to discover, so she can like not be treated like the bee all the time.
Oh, please. Please, like that's Severa will always treat you like a bebe. And Orba will be old.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like pushing you around.
87
Yeah,
years old.
she'll be like, "You're okay, little bebe." Yeah, no, there's never
Even funnier when Saphira's so old and
Yeah,
Orba's
yeah.
not quite so old yet. And you're like, no, I've got you.
She's like, "You gotta stop."
I think also Orba needs to. She feels like an urgency to keep people together too. Like even maybe not when they're like under contract together, like trying to keep the gang together a little bit.
Of the proposed and potentially on the table sort of deviations, is there anything you're looking forward to most? This is to everyone, or things you're worried about the most? Like we've got going to the Trickster's Thicket to find those bromeliads. We've got stopping
worried
by the
about
Broken
that.
Crown station that's been overtaken
Oh
by
yeah,
bandits.
wow.
right.
We've got the Ebwood's ruins for the lodestone.
I want that.
Any missions that seemed particularly, and also potentially finding a sacred grove of some kind.
Blessed Garden,
Yeah, Blessed
and
Garden,
Enchanted
Sacred
Lake.
Any of those that you think are going to be particularly difficult or you're not looking forward to?
I think the fucking bromeliad mission's gonna be impossible.
I think it's gonna be weirdly like the trickiest one somehow. Or
Why don't you turn into a goddamn turtle and just like grab a couple
I'll
in
just
your
be
mouth?
like, yeah.
She lasts for a minute. And you'd be like,
Okay.
that's a nice turtle.
you were telling me I can't get 10 of those things in a minute?
Wolf.
Depends on how close they are together.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess
like a
that's
wolf.
true.
Also, who knows? They might be like a half a mile into the forest. They might not be right on the edge.
Yeah,
It's not a terrible idea though. I don't hate it. If we can locate them first, and then I can harvest them.
They're gonna
If
make
they
it.
see you, you fire the bow at one of us, and we're like, we're just taking our pet turtle for a walk. I'm sorry.
Our pet turtle wanted to go
Our
out.
enormous
No, we're gonna
tortoise.
find out.
Your turtle has a
fucking-
bear head.
Just walking around grunting.
Just looks like that in the light. We're gonna find out that like the Elatrian elves like line the woods.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
something.
Well,
holding,
there's
like,
going to be
hands
a
across.
constant patrol.
Truly.
Hands
There's
across
going to be
Elytria.
spells
You guys touching my
that
bromeliads?
like alert them to intruders. Yeah,
It's
for
gonna be
sure.
a nightmare.
It's going to be a
It's
nightmare.
gonna be a night.
See, I
There are going to
think
be traps. I actually think that detour to the sacred place, or you guys have to go to that place that sinks every once in a while.
Well, the
That's-
Ebwood's.
that's the
That's
Ebwood's.
going to be a
That's
nightmare.
gonna
That's not
suck.
going to be fun.
because
We're going to sink into the ground.
too
Kind of
simple
bad.
on its face. That one is complicated on its face, and it's going to be hard.
Yes.
But,
Picking
Yeah.
flowers.
but the
seems very
lodestone-
simple.
Seems-
No, I'm saying it seems complicated because of where it is and all that.
Oh, I see.
But I think that the lodestone on its face seems very simple,
No, it's in a place that just sinks.
but not the stone.
No, getting there.
I think
though.
you're also forgetting who you're walking in there with. I think that's gonna be complicated,
Yeah.
but I'm really looking
Well-
forward to it.
Or
Yes.
you. Like it's if it's a spiritual place, you guys and your god shit. Like,
I don't know, God shit.
well, gods don't like
The
that.
little Broken Crown station
Oh,
right
yeah,
there on the
there we
other
go.
side of the river.
Oh,
I'm excited to see. I'm
Bandits.
excited to investigate that. I'm hoping that that's like, you know, kind of
Ugh.
abandoned, that nothing's going on there.
Each
but
one of
we'll
these
see.
things is going to be a 30 episode.
but we'll be level 5, so it's okay.
That's true.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna ding so many dongs. Oh, those dongs.
Yeah,
are gonna
that's
ding.
not a spoiler.
Oh
but we
my
have
god,
a
our
lot of-
cantrips!
I know.
Yeah, we have a lot of upgrades coming.
Does it, I
Stun,
don't think it's
stun,
Proficiency
stun, stun,
does that, but we just
stun,
added
stun,
die
stun.
to it, right?
Yeah, we just had to die. It's
The
like
cantrips,
spending a spell
yeah.
slot on it.
Oh, level 5's a big bump in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Should we try and squeeze in one more before we take a little quick break here?
Yeah. Do you want DM?
Sure,
stuff?
yeah.
Sure. I'll turn spoilers off. You already did that. We're not
sorry, I
doing
went
that
to the map.
anymore.
We were. But...
Oh, let me. Or is there a question in particular? Because I know you were looking at these.
I thought that question was who's your favorite character for Matt.
Don't like you so much.
We've been talking a lot about our campaign specifically, so let's switch gears a little bit and do. Let's see.
That's all I know. I don't know anything else.
Oh, can we talk about this? Is Pogodoko on Discord? As someone unfamiliar with D&D, could you go into some detail about what is specifically homebrew from your game versus the standard D&D 5th edition content?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're basically just using the rule set. The world is homebrew. The sort of special classes are homebrew. I mean, the classes are themselves, but the Sepsis and the Reaper and the Animus Bro, those are all homebrew. As you've probably with some other people, I like the freedom that affords me in terms of not having to stick to like established lore. I like the process of creating my own lore. So a lot of it, basically, anything that's not sort of the mechanics of combat or the way that we, roll for skills and things, that's all using the 5e rule set. But other than that, it's like all homebrew.
Inventory is homebrew as well.
Yeah, we use like a modified system. I've always found that, and hey, if people like the management aspect of it, the encumbrance rules about tracking the weight of every single object that you carry, that gets a little tedious for me, so we use a sort of modified system where you basically have small, medium, and large objects, and you can only carry so many of each kind. That way, we maintain some small level of realism, so you can't just carry 12 like gigantic, great axes on your back. I can't.
A ram.
You can only carry 2.
You can
only carry 2 large items.
You can only carry 2 over. No.
Yeah, 2
you
large
might be
items.
large.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might be
large,
right.
Are you
Do we have to drop something off?
There's something else. I need to look back at that. I think maybe you can only carry 2, but one of them can be on the horse also, I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's literally just the hammer that I got. Is the
the lodestone bongin hammer.
Yeah.
Any of your creatures homebrew?
Yeah, we've had some homebrew creatures. I try at least to, if I make up a creature, take like the stat block of an existing one and modify it in some way. The only one that immediately jumps to mind as fully homebrewed are the Myconid mutant creatures. Because they're modified, they're like basically sort of naturally enhanced and modified humanoids. So they each have special power. You've seen a bunch of them using vines to traverse terrain, like spawning little creatures. So they have a number of sort of.
If I eventually get to learn that, just like tiny
baby Erlins.
tiny
Oh god damn it!
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine a bunch of little mutant Erlins?
I'm telling the truth. Oh no.
So yeah, that jumps to mind.
I won't lie
I probably had a couple others, but those ones I've definitely spent time making sure I had all the homebrew stuff for those. All right. I think that's a good time to take a little break. When we come back, should we watch a few clips of our favorite moments? Yeah, let's do that. And then maybe after the clips, we're sort of taking our time answering. We'll do a little speed round. We'll get through some. I know so many people asked really great questions, so we'll work through a few more. But when we come back, we'll do a little.
I need to know the Pokemon question and pizza topic question.
They're in here.
They're in there. They're not on the D20 list though.
I think that was in our speed round
Outside.
category. We had like some quick hits.
Some quick
Speed
hits.
quick hits
important
speed round
that I-
category.
Of course, absolutely.
Thank you all so much for joining us, hanging out, and asking some questions. We'll continue to discuss the lore and Tabletop Notch going forward. But we'll just take a quick break and we'll come back. Is it 15 still? I think
It's 15 minutes. There's no recap video because we're going to wait until next week for that one. So we just have the map timeline as well as the chapter 1 synopsis kind of thing. Also, Johnny Gadfly gifted a sub while we were talking, so thank you very much once again, Johnny. You're out of control. And I think that's all that I needed to share. If I'm missing questions in the chat, I apologize. It's hard to keep track of. Using channel points is a good way to get my attention. I'm not plugging for channel points. It just highlights the message. So let's say if you have a question, try to use the channel points. Stop laughing at me.
If you want to get my attention, you should use channel.
Hey there.
It costs nothing. It's made up. It doesn't do anything, and I don't use them. So please just highlight the question with the channel.
Oops. Whoa. What happened there? Oh, it faded to black and then went.
Oh.
Why? Oh, yeah, because I have it ready to fade to black.
sorry.
Oh, God.
I just switched away from the battle cam.
You terrified me, man.
I thought I sent it to break too early. Sorry.
We're fine. Everything's fine. We've been doing this for years.
Detective from a thriller, and things aren't going on.
You look like one of Villapont's contacts.
Truly. Here's the thing, lad.
I've got this guy I can ask. He's a regular at all hands on deck. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll answer some more questions. Watch a little video. Come hang out with us. We'll see you on the other side.
See you in a bit.
All right. Fade to black.
Welcome back, everybody, to our wonderful talkback episode of A Peek Beneath the Veil. Before we begin Season 2, and before we... God, I'm looking up the overlay is going to change,
Yep.
the backgrounds are going to change,
Yep.
the little video behind the overlays is going to change.
Oh my God.
The guest book's gonna change,
guest
the
book's
intro's
gonna
gonna change, Be Right Back's gonna probably change.
Oh my
Whole
gosh.
new look. It's got a whole new theme to it.
Unbelievable.
We're calling it Northbound.
There's also gonna be some other
So
fun
excited.
announcements, but I
Yes.
won't even. I'm not
Wow,
even.
a little-
I can't wait to go to the mountains.
You're supposed
I
to give
have
us sneak
advantage
peeks
there.
earlier.
Yeah, back to the mountains.
Yes.
It's been the last time you guys were in the mountains was the Sharkies.
I have a +2 perception.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're a mountain gal.
Maybe I'll actually ranger this time.
She gets advantage on like
Certain checks. I think
yeah,
it's like
certain kinds of
perception
and like nature and
Oh yeah, would you
survival.
also like to explain your transition here?
Oh, we're
Oh, it's not supposed to be.
relaxing now. We're watching clips and leaning back and
Watching clips and eating chips.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are going to watch some of our one of our recurring questions was some of our favorite moments in the campaign thus far in the first 100 episodes.
Yeah.
We took some time. We sort of recalled some of our favorite moments. Should
Today,
we-
Melvin on Discord and Corey Blades on Instagram all asked what our favorite moments were.
It's
Oh,
very,
so
very
many.
difficult to pick.
So many.
We came up with quite a few, whittled it down. We're gonna play a couple. I'll switch over right now to the watching stuff overlay. There we go, a little tabletopnotch TV.
Trying to raise the
Oh yes.
Point.
Point.
Oh wait, there. So we'll play. Why don't we roll randomly?
Yeah.
Should we say who
One,
put
two,
forth these clips?
Yeah, yeah,
Four,
yeah.
five, six,
We'll have the person
seven.
who's
So
user.
roll a d8.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Am I
we'll
doing it?
talk about it.
Okay.
Yes, producer,
Yeah.
do it.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Riley, tell us about your chosen clip. This is back at the Genie Temple.
Oh my gosh. Well, you mentioned this earlier,
Yeah.
but this was a really fun guest episode where this loser wasn't there.
So it was fantastic.
So it was great.
The wonderful, wonderful Sam was joining us as one of the...
Yes, and he was playing a Ganassi interrogator, and he was very funny with everyone. And I'm assuming this is, I don't know exactly what moment you guys picked, but
picked
there
your
were
yours,
obviously.
there were so many good moments. And I believe, spoiler, I don't want to spoil the actual clip.
It's a clip. Oh, well, don't.
I don't want to spoil it. I actually, I
we'll
think
talk
it's
about it
funniest
after.
in the
Yeah,
clip.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess.
we'll
Here's why you're gonna laugh.
yeah, I don't want to do that.
the lead up is the group fell into this genie temple.
Yes.
They had to kind of work their way through. They had a guide the previous episode. That was Jordy, another guest. And in this episode, they'd finally met basically who seemed to be the heads of this temple. The two of the larger genies, the Ifrit and the Jinn. And
We fell into it, and they thought we
Yes.
were trying to steal from their
Yeah.
sacred
They
temple
did.
that
To be
we didn't
fair.
know
they
existed.
thought they tried
Bit of a
to steal stuff.
misunderstanding.
And maybe something was stolen later on.
That's only
After-
because I was already labeled as a thief, so you may as well take
Tell you
something.
what, it's
Your
fine.
name.
Hey, I got your finger.
To this day,
Oh yeah.
one of the things that everyone looking back is like,
Oh,
we should have
taken
more shit.
so much more stuff. Oh, it's such a big regret.
At the time, everyone was like, how could
Like,
you do
Saphira would
that?
never have done that, but
Should have taken
as a player, oh, absolutely.
Just anything
You can
pants
work.
jangling
You can work
with
anything
it.
into a character description.
Oh, yeah.
We're just retconning your character. So yes, they now were faced with having to explain their presence in the Genie Temple. So that's where the clip is.
Correct.
So we're gonna play the clip. We're gonna mute our microphones just so there isn't
Yeah.
overlapping noise, and then
Us
we'll bring
yelling.
ourselves back once we finish the clip.
If clips are ever making your ears bleed, just let me know, and I will go in and adjust the audio from there.
Some of the early sound balancing wasn't as good as it is now, but
Running a stream is hard.
But you better highlight or else Jordan won't care about you. I'm kidding. She loves
Guys,
you all.
everyone's comment is highlighted. Nobody's comment is highlighted. All right, let's play that clip. We'll take a look. I'm going to mute us first.
My name is Murad. This is Cipro. We're going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I'd like to start with this. Could you tell us what this symbol means?
I hate it. No,
You were the one who spoke the symbols and entered into the temple originally, yes? That's what you said to Eureka.
Yeah, let me rack my brain.
Yeah.
He sort of holds it up in the face on a piece of parchment.
Oh man, it's that one.
She knows. So, tell me, in the Den of Sands, you refer to this symbol as nipple. So, would you like to explain this inconsistency? Do you know the language or do you not?
I know it very. I don't know it very well. I was taught it by my teacher. He used it as a series, it was like a warm-up exercise, and we were under some pressure to complete that exercise, and I don't know, when I looked at it, the only thing I saw was a nipple.
Yes. So, you looked at the symbol, but she'd read the symbols before. So, what happened there? Between one room and the other, you'd forgotten your primordial digits, did you?
I mean, yeah.
Not good under stress.
He sort of writes a little piece on that.
She mentioned a master of some kind who taught you the symbols.
Yeah,
What was his name?
Watchy for a.
Watchy Furrow. And this Watchy Furrow, he was what to you? You were very close?
Somewhat, yeah. He was my trainer, my mentor.
Okay, so this person you were close with, very close, sexual partner of yours who speaks primordial, sends you to Antisuyu.
Yeah, not
and
a sexual
you
partner.
come to this elemental temple to what? Just take a look around. Seems like a fantastic coincidence.
Does it seem like I just have a out of curiosity? Did you go to the entrance to the place where we collapsed into this excavation?
Yes, we did take a walk.
Did you find a headless giant?
Did we find a headless giant?
Yes, we saw
We
that.
did find a headless giant.
Yes.
Right. This is what I'm having a difficult time understanding. Is I literally fell into this place. I didn't even know what it was. I frankly, at this point, regret reading the symbols, but it was
But you do understand how our suspicion could be aroused.
not really.
You know our language, you accidentally fall
I know
into it
parts
and
of
leave a
your
headless
language. I
giant
know
at
like
our
5
doorstep.
symbols from your language.
5 symbols, and yet you can't remember
Well-
one of them.
Nipple.
I don't think any of us took anything. I think that would be
Sure,
extremely...
we're not saying that you
Sure,
did.
no, but just...
Yeah, I can't answer that question. I have no idea. I don't think...
You can't or you won't.
No, I literally... I don't feel able to... I have no idea who would steal anything from...
Little tongue-tied. Can't think of the right word.
What are you doing with that? What is that?
This is a representation of your inability to tell us the truth.
It's a nipples.
It is a little... No, and you know that isn't true.
Oh, God.
A great moment. I mean, Sam's physical work throughout this episode is really
so
terrific.
good.
It's so funny. We do it could be a row. One of our favorites. But yeah, we did mention this before when I was talking about some of my favorite non-social encounters. And I just love, you see a side of Saphira that you always don't get to see, because Saphira has her, sort of awkward moments with some characters, but in this one, she's dealing with authority, and she hates looking bad in front of authority. Like, she hates looking like she doesn't mind looking like a goof in front of the kids or, some random NPC, but these people who were interrogating her, like, that really got her goat.
Yes.
I remember genuinely being so frustrated in character, being like, what do you think
happened? There was a headless giant obviously in this chamber. Like, I obviously don't know. Like, how much does it seem like I'm lying to you?
Just had your number so
did.
fast,
Totally
man.
They really
Oh.
did.
It was
Did you find the
infuriating.
headless giant? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Oh, so good. That's a good one, man.
That was a good one.
Um,
And I know it's not right, but there was a part of my brain as a player, I was like, we're never getting out of here. The next 50 episodes are going to
We're
be
just
spent.
Because I think, was this the first interview?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So that one finishes,
That one-
and of
and then
course
there were, like,
Sam's
everyone
like,
else.
"Who's next?" And
Yeah.
everyone's like,
That was very fun.
Yeesh.
"Yeah, that's a
It's
good
a
one."
nipple is what it is.
It's a nipple.
And the primordial digits came back. We
They
could
did.
hear us
Mr.
'cause we were
Vaught.
muted, but yes.
Yeah, Mr.
so,
Vaught and Mr. Doon.
Yep.
And I didn't remember it.
Yeah,
I think it
that
was
pretty obscure.
It was Willoughby that reminded me.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Thorsten
Yeah.
found the list
Yeah.
that had those names on
And when I
it.
brought it to Willoughby, he was like, "Hmm."
That's your Willoughby impression?
Yeah.
No thank you. Great, that's a good one. All right, should we roll another one?
Should someone else roll?
Somebody roll.
Roll, bitch.
Oh, you rolled.
3.
3.
What's this one?
This is you rolled your own. Here you go.
What did you pick? Is this the second?
Do we need
Oh,
to?
no,
do we
she
need to intro it?
Yeah, this is head on our way to Mukmu.
Oh my god, yeah.
This is sort of a first indication very early on that there was something that the gods had something to do with a character other than Graven. It was the first time we sort of discovered that the gods might have an interest in someone of the party that was not Graven. Do you want to talk before lead it in a little more? Than that?
I mean, I guess just that in and of itself is like was such a big deal. Yeah, like it was the fact that I was very tight-lipped. Graven was very tight-lipped about everything, and this was almost a way of forcing me to talk to somebody about what was going on with me and with them, and that like, oh, I need to investigate this and not talk about it at all. Yeah.
So just a sort of practical lead up, they were traveling along the river on their way to Mukmu, and they came across this sort of ceremony that was going on by the river. That was a ceremony of the Lakafuyu, which are notably sort of
Anti-cleric.
Yeah, anti-clerics using their powers, certainly.
Right.
They think that mostly clerics sort of abuse the powers that they are granted by gods. So they were doing this sort of riverside ceremony.
What the hell? I thought it was going to be, can you tie me up?
You think I'm abusing my power?
Not right now, because you have none.
Oh.
Can't abuse what you don't have. Let's roll that clip.
I love you.
And after plunging his hand into the water, the flow seems to slow, the river. And it slows, and it more, and then it stops. And it seems to not just be the water, but the people as well, frozen in time. Smiles plastered on faces, grasses frozen mid-sway, and the flames of the torches sort of inexplicably stop. Saphira, frozen in time. Bizarra, frozen in time. Jillian, frozen in time. Orba, Oh God. turns her head to see Erland frozen in time. Turns her head the other way, and her and Graven make eye contact, with the rest of the world frozen around them. And Graven hears a voice in his head that he doesn't know where it's coming from. Heretics, heathens, horrors. And Orba hears a voice in her head. As far as you can tell, the other person is not hearing these voices. Foolish, effectless, feeble-minded. And the voices come through loud. And you look at each other for a moment, and there's this sort of standoff almost. And then the freeze breaks. And music starts. Flutes and fiddles. And the man pulls his hand up out of the water, creates a splash, and there's a cheering, there's sort of a clapping and a cacophony of celebration.
Oh, baby.
Microphones there. So why choose this moment? I'll let you talk first.
It literally was one of the first. Kuzni had spoken at this point.
Yeah.
Even just a few times during my one shot. There was some words. But this was like one of the first actionable times that he intervened, or at least it seems that way,
true.
and that it involved somebody else, and that it like was clear. Like at this point, Jordan Orba does not know nearly anything about Kuzni and my connection to him or my past with him, and I certainly don't know anything about what mission she's on. And so it was just this amazing moment that I could tell that we both knew that something was up, more than just like, oh, weird, everyone else is frozen. It was like, oh, there are serious things. We both know more than we're letting on right now, and we're forced to kind of like, it was like spine chilling for me that moment.
I can say, well, first off, all of that came as a total surprise to me. I had absolutely no idea that anything like that could ever happen to my character.
Oh, yeah.
But most of the time, I think when we're playing, I have like a fairly good like third eye happening, like where I'm like figuring things out as a player and stuff. But in that moment and like a couple others, like I was just lost in what you were describing. Like I felt like it was just real and happening. It was just so vivid and clear.
Yeah.
And you and I looking at each other like cluelessly as players and as characters was so like sensational. Like I could fucking feel it.
And because you say you had no idea that could happen to your character, I did have an inkling that obviously he could mess with both my consciousness and what I see and what I know. And so because I was the last name, you went through Jillian, you went through the NPCs, you went through the PCs, and I was like, ooh. and then when you said that, I was the only person that wasn't frozen, I was like,
oh.
I was like, yeah, it was very poignant, and one of just one of the first times that I knew that I was going to be forced to reckon with this stuff.
Yeah.
Question for Jordan. So we obviously know that it was Kuzni speaking to Graven.
I guess.
Who do you think was speaking to you in that moment?
It's a guess.
Okay.
It's a total guess, because I don't know. But I think the only thing that would make sense is the gentleman who had scared us off from Blom's.
Oh,
bigger barnacle guy.
The gentleman, that was very polite of you.
I was gonna say, it took me a second to be like,
the large
what?
skeleton.
Oh, yeah. A very large undead creature that showed up at Blom's, who's like covered in barnacles.
Maybe he'll like us better if we're nice.
Because he's the guy who, like, when I like first accepted the flower from one of the spirits, like her face contorted into that guy.
into that guy.
Like he
that's
seems to
right.
be
So who do you think
some
he
kind
is?
of, I don't know, Satan. He's like not Satan. Obviously.
Is he trying to hurt you or help you?
I don't know.
Is that your father from the tree?
It's probably my dad.
But the tree
Does
is
it look like her
similarities?
dad?
Does undead mean alive?
No, it does
No,
not. That would
that's
be
the thing,
dead.
That would be dead.
Yes.
So it's not her dad.
Decided
Unless the
not
tree's
my father.
busted.
Yeah, unless the tree is broken.
He's not working again. Blowing it.
Yeah, hit it with your hammer and see if it realigns.
One of my favorite parts about that moment in particular is afterwards you're like, we should talk, and I'm like, okay, and that's my Graven, and you were like, oh, you heard Kuzni, and I was like, huh? And he was like, oh, he said this thing, and I was like, that was.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Assumed.
I
thought
did
that
it,
was great.
and I think you even tried to explain that. You said it during that clip that like you have no reason to believe that the other person is hearing what you're hearing. But I don't know. I in the moment I played it as like Graven is like, Kuzni is all powerful. He can do all sorts of things, and he could totally talk to anybody who he wants. And so
I thought that was a good idea.
I
It's
think
reasonable
I mean,
that he
even if they couldn't hear what you heard, that doesn't mean you wouldn't think he said something different to her.
Exactly.
That he gave her different
yeah.
words.
And
You
so
know?
that's and that's how.
And then
that's
I'm sure
how
Graven's like super confused after I'm like, no, that wasn't what I heard. And you're like, what the fuck are you hearing?
Then what is wrong with you?
Another question we got in the chat, and I just wanted to say it out loud. We don't currently have anything on Discord with the like gods, like no like index or really anything describing either meddling or new Kelke gods.
We can put that in the homebrew.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
probably something that we'll have ready
We're
to go
working on our fandom, which is
the wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ways off. I don't want
It
to
is.
oversell, but
Jordan explicitly told me not to mention.
but we're working. We've been putting up all the
It's-
all the recaps of episodes, and the idea is for hopefully that to eventually have some information on some of the key.
Yeah, at the moment, almost like every recap of every chapter, I need to generate like NPCs and link everything together and stuff. So it's not helpful yet, but it's gonna be soon.
But yeah, before
yeah, that's a
that,
good
maybe we'll put a little
suggestion.
primer on
Totally.
something, especially because sort of this mission that we're on is God related. So maybe a good time to go through some of the stuff. Should we pass it down the line? Would you like to roll for us?
Yes. What am I? I'm
D8. Just a D8. Yeah, we'll
Where's
skip
my
it.
D8?
Dump here.
Oh, 8.
That doesn't
We
exist.
don't have
That doesn't
names.
exist.
Oh.
Rolling again.
Just kidding.
Well, yeah, it's 7.
2.
2. Okay. This is yours, I believe.
is it?
Called First Petal.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Okay,
Would
so
you like to lead us into this
do you,
one?
So do you want to play
Oh.
both the Demaset and this one? Because they're like literally within a span of like 10 minutes? Or do you want to just play
Oh, are
mine?
those separately on here?
Technically, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are.
But we can do whatever.
That's okay. I mean, we'll do the pedal one. We rolled
Okay.
that one. Yeah.
Well, at a certain point in the story when we were traveling, for reasons that might be shown later on a clip, we were granted inspiration by this guy.
Speaking of what Kuzni's capable of.
Yeah, this guy's God.
Inspiration.
He gave you a
And
very generous gift, and you. I'll just
Oh.
go ahead.
This was probably Orba's like first retaliation, like
Yes.
her like instinctual I want nothing to do with this kind of thing. So she like we sit down for a long rest after the event just happened. We all like feel the inspiration of that dude, and
Praise Kuzni.
and during her watch she sits down, makes sure everybody's asleep, and she does this.
Let's take a look.
Kuzni, I don't know if you can hear me, whether it is because I am holding this specific item, or because I am not your Goliath. But if you can hear me, hear this. You can spare me your generosities. I only do things for Graven, not for you.
Hold the flower as you say this. And you start to feel your hands tighten around the stem. And your hands vibrate a little. And you hear sort of your auditory senses start to blend together into a sort of vibration that rings through your ears and it mars your surroundings. And you feel a great heat come over you. Almost like a summer's day, suddenly in an instant. You can see even beads of sweat moving down your arms. And then it stops. And a single petal of the flower falls off. And Kuzni takes your inspiration away. Someone want this instead of... This is the real inspiration. Who has one of the tokens?
We have them over here.
Here, take the
Orba takes her inspiration
I
and
get the
puts it on the
special one. Only
Under her
the special
pillow.
one.
Fine.
You see the petal fall? Looks like there's about 7 petals left on the flower, if you're counting.
Alright.
Giving up inspiration and petals just to make a point. Tiefling?
You crazy teenager, you.
Did I feel it? I'm in my sleep. I got nothing. Okay, great.
That's another no. That's another no.
Sees the petal and feels less inspired.
You look down to see it, and like as soon as it hit the ground, it starts to wilt. It turns from that whitish color instantly to like a mushy brown and curls up.
I believe we understand each other. She'll continue with her watch.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Oh, 100%.
Well, first of all, this is, you can only appreciate having great players that are willing to obviously do something that is not beneficial from a gaming perspective, but makes sense
the
from a
character.
narrative and character's perspective.
Goddamn.
That's the most fun.
Yeah,
It's
of
about
course,
telling
that
a
is the most
story.
fun.
You could have stayed under the radar, but no, you gotta be like, and now he's got his eyes on you. Like, come on.
Oh, he doesn't. I'm invisible.
It was also, I mean, this being that first petal moment, confirming for the first time that the flowers seem to have that power to block the gaze or whatever. That was the first time. I think you had gotten a hint that it might do something like that, but that was the first time you were like, okay, when a god's trying to focus his energy on me.
Great moment. It was wonderful.
Now,
I can't believe you're
So
angry at me about
you say she's invisible. Oh, remember what happened
Is that
the
what we
time
say?
that I went invisible to
Yes, I
Kuzni,
do
and then all of a
remember
sudden I wasn't invisible? What happened?
Well, he's got more of a radar on you, to be fair.
oh.
He's got like a.
Oh,
I
you disappeared and you showed up?
With him, he has like a GPS, like
Fair.
beeper thing that they had. They
Fair.
make those for toddlers, those little like apple things.
I'll just
That's
say
what
this.
I imagine it for
I'll just say this.
Quiznos.
He's like in his den and he's like, oh, fucking Graven's in a soul
Wait,
shelter
hang
again.
on.
Let's go.
The little dot, it disappeared.
Nanny cam.
You don't know how powerful he is. I'll just say that none of you know.
We have a sense.
You have no idea.
He appeared to us in the flesh, and then I shot a natural 20 arrow at him, and it did nothing. I have a sense.
So
I have a sense.
there's a ceiling, and he could be above it, and he's definitely above the ceiling.
but is he level 5 though?
Yeah, but
Yes.
indeed. like he's level 3 million.
A lot of
still
great
upset at you.
stuff in that
I
moment.
cannot believe
Just
you
take-
still get angry at
Just
me
take the inspiration.
for standing up for you, man.
How is that standing up for me?
I think it is standing up for you.
Because he's horrible to you. He's a mean person.
You don't.
You've got some Stockholm
gave us
syndrome
a nice-
going on.
You don't have someone if they offered you their help that you'd be like, I don't want it. I don't want your fucking help.
I mean,
You need to listen to this album.
But who's not that person?
I rather you pulled the hood up and were like, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Papa Q.
never.
He doesn't like
Can we
Sounds
call
like
him
the
that
worst
from now
pizza
on?
place ever.
You guys want Papa Q's tonight?
It's like that Office joke. Did you order from Ray's Pizza or Pizza by Ray?
All right, D8 it up.
Yep. Roll 'em.
Old eight. 3.
We did that one. Keep going.
3.
Oh,
Did that one?
we really want him.
2.
We did that,
that
Did
one.
that one?
5.
We didn't do that one.
Hey!
And this was, I think, one that you picked.
Hey.
Which one?
Uh,
in 2.
It's called Joust.
The Joust.
Yeah.
If you've watched this show for long enough, you know that
Classic.
Anthony is cursed in the dice region.
Anybody
Rotten luck.
ever is going back and watching from the start, keep a natural ones for Anthony tally.
I would say that
Oh,
this
yeah.
was the moment
Don't
where
do
we
this again.
realized, it was really put on our radar just how bad at dice rolling.
Oh, it's really
Has
unbelievable.
anyone else rolled a double natural?
No.
one?
He did like
No, I know
10
he
episodes
did.
later.
Yeah, I know he did multiple
I don't
times.
think so. I think he's done it twice, and I think no one else has ever
on
done
advantage?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think,
And that whole episode, like, it's not.
I
I'm
rolled
I don't think it's
badly,
in the
but I've
clip,
never
but
rolled
like
2 once.
that episode, you rolled like
That was bad.
several ones before that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this was the 2 in the advantage are 2 out of 5-ish.
Yeah.
In like a
an
7
hour.
to 10
Yeah.
hour.
There was a
7
number
to
of
10
checks.
Oh, it was
number
so
of rolls.
bad.
Insane.
Oh my god.
So this is in Josco's castle.
Yeah. Oh, right. This is Josco's castle. I don't know exactly where we start the clip, but there's a sort of like fake joust that's happening, like a mechanical jousting machine,
We're in this mini
and they
castle.
have to defeat this sort of robotic jouster in order to get access into this magical castle. And it's not going so great for Bizarra and Orba, so Graven comes up to be the hero.
And we'll leave it at that, and we'll play the clip.
Okay, are you ready, Graven?
1, 2, 3.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
Crit fail. It's a 1. It's a critical failure.
I'm dying.
You broke the DM so badly. You broke the DM.
Like he's got his legs, but they're too loose on it, so it zoom, and he kind of like falls on his ass, like with his lance, and they.
Oh
You don't even take any damage, really. You just kind of slide off the back.
Oh, that was funny.
We're doing this. We're finishing this.
Aware of how
Athletics with advantage.
Now that the DM pities us. He's like,
2 natural ones!
you're gonna
I
kill
can't
me.
even watch this happen. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know how.
So sorry. Are you okay?
This is the worst fake battle I've ever seen.
I just didn't want to cough directly into the microphone.
It's okay. Everything's fine.
They're tainted.
Everything's fine.
I forgot that's 3 natural ones in a row. There.
I don't know if there was a roll in the middle there, but very close on. If anything, there was maybe one other check.
My favorite is that you
those
apologized.
I just can't
I'm
see
so
them.
sorry.
you need to
So
turn
you
off
had to
those other
apologize.
sources, but I think so.
Oh, okay.
You had to apologize
Here,
for how
1 second.
cosmically
We
I
might
can
see.
hear.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Turn
yeah.
turn off the videos we've already played so we can see the audio
Sure. That
sources.
one. There we
Bop,
go.
bop. Yeah, we got it.
That one. there we go.
So what you had done was that first one was an attempt. That was your saving throw.
Yeah.
And then you reset. He may have had you roll like another like
Just to hold the
thing.
to hold
which was not great, I think.
Right. But then the next saving throw with advantage.
Was 2
So
natural.
two
So you had
natural
3
ones.
natural
Natural
out
one
of
saving
4.
throws.
Yeah, out of 4 rolls.
Yeah.
You know,
And the me hacking there, I was recovering from being
A cold.
Yeah, from being pretty sick. My throat was pretty raspy in that episode, and I like just started coughing, and I couldn't stop. Like I was laughing and coughing so much that I didn't want to cough into the microphone.
That was also collectively the room got quiet because we were all laughing so hard.
yeah, it was
all
like
three
we
of
were
us
all
just do, like,
wheezing. We couldn't make noise because we all lost breath. It was that it's one of those things like it can happen.
Couldn't
Like I
possibly.
understand the theory of large numbers exists,
And
right?
then-
And we place meaning on certain coincidences, right? But like that's cosmically
Surely.
unlikely.
But then it
it's
doesn't-
very unlikely.
Again.
Yeah, he
Within
rolled
a few episodes, I did it again.
like
I
2
did it
natural. It was during the
so
Jillian
funny.
snake fight. The water
I was
snake
throwing the
fight.
rope to
Oh,
try to get it
fuck,
around
that's
to
right.
grab it on both sides, and I was like, Jillian,
And then we
any
saw
advice?
That guy ended up finding
That
that
fucking
rope
dude was
later,
like,
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
But also,
So
it's just something that we've talked about several times, laughing about that episode, is that circumstance. Almost thank God it was that.
Oh yeah.
Like if those two
Something
natural
supposed
ones
to
on a
come.
medicine
go on
check.
a-
Yeah, I
something
mean,
else that
like
could've
we've
been
had
really
Saphira
bad.
one death saving throw away from
yeah,
dying.
oh,
It's
absolutely.
like 2 natural ones in a bad situation can literally be the
Kill you.
end of
Oh,
your
yeah.
character, and it's hilarious because of how scary it is that it was some goofy jousting game.
It didn't
so,
matter in
yeah.
that case, but
doing
it's still remarkably unlikely.
Yeah.
But
I'm a special guy. Special things.
Oh, special. Did you want one more clip or?
Yeah, let's show one more
then
clip. I'm
bang
not gonna
out
roll because
questions?
we used most of them. So which ones haven't we?
I think 1. Nobody rolled a 1. Ready?
We haven't done.
That's a D10.
Well, one is doobly doo, and we
Yours
have
when you
what
one.
you
need to roll
liked.
when you can.
Yeah, let's the 2 that I picked around here. I'll
Why don't we just like close
do.
out the evening with Doobly Doo or something?
Sure.
Is it
Let's do this one. This one is great.
Do us up.
I chose this one as a lot of my favorite moments in the campaign are sort of heavier, more intense moments, big dramatic moments, and those are always great and feel so good when you're in it in the game. This one that I picked is sort of the opposite of that. Orba's traveling from Naupa to Wamparani Na, and it's one of the only times that she's alone. She splits from Bizarra when Bizarra, I think, goes to talk to Butes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't. She has to go to the mail house or something. I can't remember. And Orba just has to travel to Wamparani Na to meet Graven at all hands on deck. And it's sort of just a couple of small interactions that she has while she's on her way to Wamparani Na. And these are great sort of just character building moments that are largely pretty inconsequential. But as a DM, I love these moments because I had prepared nothing. Like there's moments that I prepare a ton for because there's exposition I have to lay out, quests that I have to give, whatever it is. But these ones, literally my notes are like, Orba runs into this guy. Let's see what happens. So there's a couple of these and they turn into like really fun moments. And that's just one of those examples where I'm an advocate of preparing a lot, but sometimes you can't prepare for just a silly, fun moment. You just have to let it happen. So we're going to watch Orba interact first with just a guy that was selling potions a little suspiciously, and then she interacts with a Mycrawl advocate a little later on.
Advocate is a nice way of putting
that
it.
is dealer would be more accurate. Advocate.
Well, he's not the dealer. He refers people to the dealer.
Sure, the fixer, the Mycadid
Yeah.
fixer.
All right, we're gonna throw this one up.
All right.
Hi.
Yeah,
What you got?
sealing potions.
Healing potions?
Yeah, you want one?
Well, they look weird.
There's nothing weird about them, they're fine.
What? They don't normally look like this.
They're just in a different bottle. It's purple. Do you want one or not?
Why are they purple?
They're not purple, the bottle's purple.
Why are the bottles purple?
Because that's the glass that was used before they put... It doesn't matter, they're healing potions.
No, I'm just confused. I'm curious. What was in them before?
There wasn't anything in them before. Someone made purple bottles and someone said, oh, I need some bottles for my healing potions, let me use it. They used that one and I've got purple bottles.
So you don't make these?
No, someone else did, I sell them.
Who makes these?
It doesn't matter. Do you want one?
No, I like to know who makes them because I kind of collect
Well,
them.
it doesn't matter.
It does matter to me. I want to buy one.
Well, you can buy one.
Who makes them though?
I don't know. Third party seller, what can I say?
What's your name?
Is that important?
Why are you being so mean?
Look, do you want a healing potion or not?
Maybe.
My name's Furlin.
What was it?
Furlin.
Furlan?
F-U-R-A-L-N. L-A-N.
I'm Furlan. He's like, his mind's going through, and he's like, "Who's a guy I met recently? Furlan. My name's Furlan. Name's not Corindy Joe.
And he comes up to you at one point as you're riding in.
Hey, life's hard, comes at you fast, too fast. A lot of people looking for a way to slow things down. And I know just how to do that. I got something that'll slow you down, slow you right down, slow you down to a crawl. It's my crawl.
Oh.
I know where you can get it if you want some.
Oh, you don't have any. You don't have any here.
If you want, you go talk to Hatchet at All Hands on Deck. You tell him that old Stuckley sent you.
Stuckley?
How have you not gotten this fucker's name?
Nobody cared about him.
I care about you, Stuckley.
He's a good salesman.
I'm not from around here. Is All Hands on Deck easy to find?
Oh, everybody knows where All Hands on Deck is. You just ask around. It's right where the river spreads out, little estuary, right where the tall and short ports are.
Okay, I don't have a lot of money.
Oh, well, maybe get some and then go.
Is it expensive?
It can be, yeah, but it's always worth it.
You like it?
Nothing better.
Do you do it a lot?
All the time.
Do you do it with other people or do you do it by yourself?
Every kind of way you do it is good.
God. Oh my God.
What does it feel like?
Oh, bliss. Pure bliss.
I always imagine like looking at like a sunset and watching the sun go down.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah. Okay. This sounds great. I'll do it.
You talk to Hatchet.
Stuckley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you're gonna be a good customer.
Oh,
This
yeah. So
sounds
just a couple
great.
of fun moments there that were,
I'll do it.
not all that consequential. Although, I didn't have planned the promo code or anything like that, but Orbo seemed
Oh
interested,
my
and he was like, "Okay, potential customer." So just some of the fun things that pop up out of.
Yeah, and then someone stole it.
I mean, that was also a good one that we could have included.
That I rolled really shitty for him.
Yeah.
And Orba's
There's a
microphone.
theme here.
Someone took
There
the
is
microphone.
20 minutes after she got it. Stolen from her bag.
It was
my
very
God.
quickly after you got it.
It
Immediately.
was
And
then you held the
immediately.
next
It was
count in your hand
It was
for
like she had it for
approximately
5
25
minutes. Yeah.
I tried.
Oh my god.
I tried.
You did.
So many great clips. Should we head back to some questions?
Yeah, sure. Should we do like some speedy
Yeah, let's do some
speedy shit? Because there were a lot that we didn't get to.
Yeah, I know
Speed
we've
round.
been taking our time, but let's see if we can get through some of the good questions that we've gotten.
What would you like to do, like back and forth with you and then?
Sure.
questions for
I
us?
had a couple that, I
yeah.
made notes on. I'll do one, and then if you want to have one in the chamber to pick. Let's see. Someone asked if we were adding a character to the party. What kind of class type of character it would be. The things that I thought of, I could definitely see it being someone with sort of a more carefree side to them. The party as a whole is pretty rigid and focused.
Yes.
And if you had something, Orba has her moments, but
Yeah.
but didn't say not fun.
Severa's the opposite of fun.
We're all
The couple of things that came to mind is like an absent-minded druid of some kind, or sort of an indiscriminate thief who doesn't really kind of care who or what they steal from. Another something I thought of was like someone who does something very impulsively, like a reckless sorcerer or something. That because you guys take a lot of time to make sure you're making the right move, and someone who just is like, nah. Especially because the sorcerer trope is kind of they're born with magic, so that comes natural. They don't find it precious. You know, the magic is just like just finger guns.
The magic missile finger gun.
Yeah. So something like that. It's someone carefree or a little sort of reckless. Impulsive is something that I would think about adding to the party dynamic. So yeah, that was a good one that I thought.
I like that.
Should we throw one back to the cast?
I think we should keep rolling.
Yeah. Let's keep rolling.
Let's see if
There's some character-specific questions.
Oh yeah, actually,
There's a
do we
couple
want to
character-specific ones, yeah.
acknowledge the character questions really quick?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, go
We'll
ahead.
go
John.
round table. Here we go.
Who's yours?
Erland is definitely a complicated character with many quirks,
Complicated is in italics.
but his necessity to bend the truth is very defining. Why does he feel the need to lie, obfuscate, or otherwise speak in half-truths? What's his end goal? Are there deep-seated trust issues when he sees everyone, including the party, as a means to an end?
I decline to answer.
I don't know how you're talking
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Not truths or half-truths or mistruths or falsities. I think the what do you say? The trust issues is smart. If we're to believe, I said this a little bit earlier. I think Erland's someone who's like stuck in between a lot of different places. Be it like stuck between like the elven world and the half-elf world, Kiara and Antisuyu, like the world of like intellectuals at halls of transmutation, and the world of like fighters, mercenaries basically at the Atonement's End. I think that like if we're to believe that he was someone who actually went to the halls of transmutation for a while, especially when he was younger, his upbringing was probably more that of an intellectual's than like a fighter. Like the Atonement's End happened later, and I think that he's someone who doesn't want to just fight. Like everyone does things they do in order to get like their missions done, right? Like a lot of intimidation checks. You know, you use a lot of like morality and reason. And I think that Erland is a bit of an arrogant fellow sometimes, and using like trickery or trying to be smart, outwitting someone. Lying kind of goes with the
ego.
Lying goes with the territory sometimes. If you like don't have the upper hand, if you're not actually smarter than someone, if you're in a position where you definitely shouldn't win, I think he tries to use his intellect before he uses his fists. So I think it's a combination of that and the thing we were saying before with Satyria, like feeling like he can't really trust anyone because he's been stuck in between all these places makes it very easy for him to lie. If he needs to get something done, or if he needs something out of someone, or if he doesn't want to share something.
Why do you look at me when you fucking say that?
If he needs to get something out of
God
someone.
fucking damn it.
Well, because also too, like if he gets caught, or if something like goes wrong, or if he doesn't have a mission, like he's back to fucking Atonement's End. Like there's a certain desperation to it too.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't win, if he doesn't get it, then he's like locked up forever.
Yeah, adding to that, I think that part of what's really interesting about it is not wanting to, like, he doesn't want to get burned. And he, like, sometimes if you tell people too much, that gets used. That he's seen that happen where telling someone something about him gets thrown back in his face.
I think I said that to Orba early on. I was just like, don't let people know too much about you.
Yeah, because that gets used against you.
Yeah.
If you
Well, it was psychological training too at Atonement's End.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
Which I'm sure a lot of that was don't trust fucking anyone.
Well, yeah, feeling the Genesis episode's so good because
Yeah.
like it's not like these people are like the fellow monks aren't like comrades. They're not friends. It's kind of like every man for himself.
They're all
You're taught to
suffering
survive by yourself.
It's like a prison.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I think that like if you've been trained not to trust anyone and you also think you're smarter than everyone.
Yeah. I mean, there's a line in Genesis, I can't remember exactly what it is, but when they're training, and part of the training is something about you were not useful in your past life, and that's why you ended up here.
Yeah,
so you may as well be useful now, and we're going to teach you how to be useful
Yeah.
now, going forward.
If anyone hasn't watched the Genesis, go watch it now. All
Yeah,
of it.
it's so fun.
But I mean, like, I think he thinks it's the right way to protect yourself, which is why I think he offers it to Orba as like genuine recommendation. Like, hey, if you're like escaped, this is before we knew about Reaper, like, don't tell people because it will be like people will use it against you if they can. That's why I think he was so skeptical of Graven early on. Was like
Because Graven doesn't say anything either.
no, because like Graven has like that was after or Graven had all these like blackouts with Kuzmi, right, and stuff. And I think that there's like a fear that like if this god comes up in a serious way, like Graven might not have a choice as to what he has to do.
Right.
And so, like, if he doesn't know about you, then he can't hurt you in those specific ways. Whereas if he does, then Kuzni could use that against you.
All right.
Good answer.
Erlen, good guy 2022.
Riley.
We're rebranding Erland for season 2.
Erlen and I are in a whole PR team.
New overlay, new overlay. Saphira's moral compass, strict background, seemed to inform her decisions in such a way. Sometimes it conflicts with everyone else in the party who have more fluid outlooks.
Yes.
Are there a lot of people with more fluid outlooks? How do you balance keeping true to the character and their morality and not being a party pooper? Yes.
Well, I think 2 things. I think Saphira has definitely had the capacity to be a party pooper on certain occasions. But I think I think there's a little bit of this is like a player balancing thing. Like you do have to, in a moment of group decision, at some point someone has to relent and something has to happen. So like there have definitely been moments where I think Saphira might not have acquiesced, but I acquiesced because I was like, we're not having this argument anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Saphira's rigidness also comes from, I think, a deep distrust in herself. Like, the character's sort of background is written as she's someone who puts a tremendous amount of trust in authority and then had that trust kind of ripped away from her. So she doesn't want to be making any of these decisions. So this is kind of air of like, I don't want to decide this, but if we're going to decide... So I think Saphira is happy to let other people make decisions for her most of the time. And I think what's going to be interesting in season 2 and what has been frustrating Saphira about this party is this is a group of people that are together by happenstance, and she wants us to be together by purpose. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool.
And that's an issue I think she feels with our like fighting dynamic, because she's really she just wants everyone to get along and do the same thing. So yeah, I think what'll be interesting in season 2 is, as far as trusting another party, it's shifted so much, and I think that's important. Like, I think it's important to have like inter-party conflict, especially just from a narrative perspective of like when we're going like, you know, just like in any, you want enough conflict that everything is always sort of interesting and you always have something going on, and there's, you know, but not so much that nothing ever happens. So
It's a tricky balance.
it's a tricky balance. So I really think that like, I think some of it is fun and you want to butt heads a little bit. Like some of it you want to make sure that there are different opinions and you hold to your own sometimes. Yeah. And then sometimes you just need to make decisions together. So I think that's, some of that is like a character balancing thing, and some of that is just a player thing as well.
I would also say, to the party pooper aspect, I think that, and this plays very nicely into Saphira's military background, Saphira has had great moments of fun and carefreeness, but she doesn't do what some of the other characters do, which is in a very serious moment make light of it or something. She's lived a very segmented life. You have work time and you have fun time.
Exactly.
And there's room for both, but those don't happen at the same time. Those are two very different things.
Very true.
Work time and fun time. So, yeah, and that's what she's been taught her whole life, is that you do
Saphira
work
will say
during
she
these
turns
times.
on different parts of her brain
Yeah.
for different. You can very clearly see, like, I'm interacting with people now versus like I'm fighting now, or
Yeah.
I'm having a beer now.
Definitely.
It's her favorite time of night.
I think that works really nicely.
Do you need a drink?
Always, yes.
Let's keep rolling. Anthony, clerics are often very in tune with their deities, and their divine power derives from that relationship. Add to that Graven is a very stoic and headstrong gentleman, and you have the recipe for an I don't need you, but you need me type of scenario. Whose idea was it to create such an adversarial back and forth between Graven and Kuuzni? Do you feel that animosity has helped or hindered Graven and his ability to support those who depend on him?
Oh, jeez. Okay. Helped or hindered? I mean, so there has been, especially in the early days, the idea of Graven not being able to remember anything was both kind of an easy, not easy. What am I trying to say? Matt came up with this idea that the Kuuzni has monitored Graven's abilities and his memories his entire life. So for decades, Graven was just a tool of this god, and it's right before the campaign begins that Graven learns that decades of his life were based on lies, and so it just I feel like I'm losing the thread.
No, you're good. Follow it.
And so when you say adversarial, I guess. I don't even know. Was it adversarial in the beginning? Do you think you saw adversarial where instead of just kind of knowing that I needed him? And
we knew that you were afraid of him pretty early on.
Yeah,
and that's how we knew it was adversarial. Is you seemed afraid of him, and that is not a good relationship with your god.
What's the fun part of it is that I know, and Graven knows that he needs everything that he's been for these decades, and everything that he does, every spell that he casts, he needs Kuuzni in to be who he is and to do everything that he's done. I don't know. Has the animosity helped or hindered? God, mostly hindered. It's been such a fun thing to play off of, where I meet these other characters and I see that they have these purposes that have meaning to them that are outside of just like, this is your purpose, go do it. And it's been really fun to Graven's been able to open his blinders and try to figure out why people do the things that they do. And because the idea of saying no was not an option for Graven. It wasn't in my vocabulary for decades. And so I don't know. I guess has Kuuzni hindered with my friends? Turn it around. Has my friends helped me with my
hindrance of
Kuuzni
wisdom?
problems?
Yeah, Kuuzni. Yeah.
It's been fun watching Graven push the bound, over 100 episodes, just push the boundaries, widen the boundaries of what is him acting and what is Kuuzni telling him back.
Yeah.
And for a long time, and as things have come up, for the very beginning, this focus was still on. The focus was I need to get rid of Kuuzni, and the way to that street is the Chimera. So I'm going to follow Jillian down this road. And then it was well, the Chimera might not be all of it. There's more going on still. Your family might still be alive. Oh, okay. So I have to widen my gaze on that. Yeah. And then Orba's reality comes into the picture, and I'm oh, there's things that I have to consider. Maybe I don't have to go straight for the Chimera. Maybe I can go straight for the gods. And I have to widen.
The world's so complicated.
Yeah, exactly. So each step has been oh God, I have to. There's nuances to how to get to where the end of it used to be just get rid of Kuuzni, but now there's family members that might still be alive, and it's not a straight line to those things. It's meeting people over here and coming back to the line, and maybe you have to push this idea away for a second and go to this area to come back. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said I was going to push you away.
It's also fun to every time you push against Kuuzni, as a player, as John watching it, it's fun to be oh shit, Kuuzni's going to push back somehow. It might not be right now, but it will happen. Yeah. And when will it happen?
Yeah. because it might be as little as me is speaking his name in vain, and he will strike me down.
I mean, a lot of that came to a head at the Soul Shelter. Like for a lot,
Oh,
there was a
that's
lot of
yeah.
slow boundary pushing that you weren't ever like sort of officially rebuked for. But when you came out of the Soul Shelter, that was when he was like, a line has been crossed here. That you did something that I couldn't look the other way at.
And now there is for the first time in probably maybe what we know of his history, there is a second cleric of Kuzne, which is
and to answer sort of very directly, like I came up with the concept of that adversarial relationship between Graven and Kuuzni, but what I didn't know, obviously, because I didn't know how I was going to play it, is which path he would take in terms of, is Graven going to try and, to some degree, repair this relationship so that by the time he defeats the Chimera, you go your separate ways? Or is it the path of, like, at every possible turn, every possible opportunity to defy Kuuzni, you take that option?
That's a different 100 episodes if you do that shit.
If you sort of slowly mend the relationship over time. But
I mean, I think I have denied him most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
All right, sorry.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Orba has always been seen as the object of the party's protection from the beginning. But we've seen her do some major and very important things in order to help or save them, despite often not trusting herself and her abilities. How does she feel about her role in the party? What steps, if any, has she taken or will take to validate her place in the party?
Ooh, validate. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, wait. So first thought is party's protection.
How does she feel about her role in the party right now?
I think she understands how people view her. I mean, I think she's gone her whole life. She's been like very young and like gifted, but also in like really low status, like a lot of the time. So like, I think she's pretty used to people not seeing her for like her skills and stuff. And I think that's why she's feeling so loyal to Salandriel and Cliff and Salas, because they're like, you're awesome in so many words, and aren't like seeing her for less so seeing her for her physical makeup.
First people to tell her she was maybe meant for something bigger.
Yeah.
True. And especially like between, I mean, completely different environments, but coming from the halls as like a servant and being like basically invisible, and then coming to this and being like cared for, but in a like childlike capacity. That was also very weird, just being cared for like in general, or like being seen as like a thing to be cared for. That was a totally new concept to her, I think. And so I think at first maybe she thought
Sabira was like, I'm keeping this one.
Yeah, and she was
This
like,
one's
oh,
mine.
this is nice. And then she like realized that also has boundaries for her behavior as well. Like,
No, it doesn't. Sabira has no boundaries.
Oh no, I mean, she's still being told like she can only do certain things, or like there's still like a box around her in a way. So that being said, I think her like role in the part, I think she has patience for how people view her, but I think she sees herself in her role in the party to be much more of a caregiver, ironically enough, or like less caregiver-y. Not an HR department, but somebody who kind of like manages keeping folks together and on the same page. I think she actively practices like patience and like respecting people's opinions, but also realizing that other things like need to be said or done. So I think she tries to play like a mediator, and I think she also wants people to stay together. Like, it's the first group of people that she ever got to know. Like, I don't think she ever really had anything.
Some servant buddies, maybe.
Yeah, some acquaintances, but like the thought of finding other people is very daunting, and like she doesn't trust that road. So like she'll do whatever she can to kind of like keep people on common ground and keep them together, whether that's like emotionally or through more practical senses. Who knows yet? That might be like a season 2 development. I know, practical man, Erlen.
I think also going into season 2, it's obviously been the focus of some of these days in Dvikapura, but when you guys hit the road, you are sort of officially under the employ of Cliff Ironclad. Like, up until now, it's just been preparation for that, but like upon breaching the city and heading north, you're now officially contracted by Cliff Ironcloud and by extension Orba. I mean, that's your job.
Yeah. And I don't think that's lost on her either. I think like because of how
use that authority.
Cliff is speaking to her and trusting her, I think that's kind of forcing her into like a leadership position where she has to start viewing people more so as people that need to cooperate rather than like the friends. So I think that'll be an
Need to
interesting...
cooperate rather than would like them to cooperate.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it would be good if they cooperated. It would be easier.
Like I think like an hour into being the boss, she'll understand Jillian 1,000% more of like why Jillian chose to enlist us the way that she did and
Will
stuff.
she forgive Jillian for ripping up the piece of paper?
Never. Never. Give me my paper back, bitch.
Don't rip up my things.
Don't rip up my stuff.
God, your fucking face when Matt wrote that.
I was so mad.
That was rough.
I was so mad. I couldn't
That's
separate.
why you gotta have physical props. It just makes it so much better.
You had me too. You so. I didn't even question it. I just
She was
gave
like,
it to
let me
you.
take a look at that.
And I was like, yeah.
Like, I trust it.
Lesson number 2, when Erlen sits her down, is gonna be like, don't give people things. Never. Don't tell her the
Doesn't
truth,
matter if
and
it's
don't
theirs.
give them
Doesn't
things
matter.
This
at
is
all.
why
ever.
the sentence, I trust Matt, is insane. Because you hand him things and he rips them to shreds.
With Cliff and Celis and everything, something that I think about a lot is that Graven looks at Orba and sees a teenager who people more influential and powerful from her are telling her that she is influential and powerful. Kind of like when Graven was a teenager and he was told he was powerful and special, and like
people use
but
him.
was used, you know.
Tomato, tomato.
Just be careful. Just be careful is what I'm saying.
Good answer. Good
Mm-hmm.
answer.
Thank you.
Let's keep it rolling. I'll do another DM one that I had. There's a couple good ones that I wanted to address.
Oh, yeah.
Threads that I thought the party might follow.
Oh,
this
shit.
was a really hard one to answer. I mean, a lot of things end up coming back in a different way, but just quickly off the top of my head, I was trying to think of some. I'm surprised that no one ever went back to Emma Pasternackle to talk about the poo pipes.
Poor Emma.
Especially because, and I remembered, Segra told you that when she was disguised as you, Emma Pasternackle tried to talk to
Oh,
her.
shit.
And I thought someone was going to go check that out. That didn't. I thought that you guys went back to Reciprocity to talk to Senka after the crystal was smashed because you were like, that was obviously very suspicious. But I was surprised that you didn't attempt after that a less direct approach, observing the place, trying to sneak into Reciprocity. I was surprised that, no, I know. I was surprised that you weren't tempted to like try and
Let's break in.
yeah, I
didn't
don't
have
know.
to murder Shikari.
Yeah,
I don't know.
thanks for that.
Needed to.
Honestly, around that time, I was so scarred by like trying to
That's true.
go in with very little info that
Graven was spooked.
Yeah,
it was very spooky.
Yeah, you nearly died.
I hated that.
I was surprised that we didn't go with the everybody wears a silly hat approach to the Burmese Yord concert and Marvin Bishop's captors.
We wanted it so
I had
bad.
written a tailor in the city.
God damn it.
You guys had talked about it so much. I thought you were going to do it.
Don't. I'm quitting. I'm leaving the
so
show.
upset.
No. Oh my
I was
god. I'm
like-
gonna cry. Are
Why
you
didn't
kidding?
you let us wear silly hats?
Why didn't you let
you?
John?
Cotton silly hats.
Yes, the silly hats approach was never used.
Oh my god, you made a tailor for silly hats.
Oh, that's such a
Looking a little
What
more
missed
into this was
opportunity.
for Orba and Graven. Looking a little more into Riggins from the short ports
Yeah.
because he came up
Yeah.
at the New Kelkian
Riggins,
Church. He was
Yeah,
selling Microl at the New Kelkian Church.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
Surprised that maybe a
He
little
was
more
the-
digging didn't happen.
I don't know if you told him.
Nah, I didn't. There's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
don't.
going on.
There wasn't.
There was a lot going on.
Graven and Bizarre never used the Hoscoop.
I've had that written in that it's like turned into moldy dust in my.
It's gross.
It's gross now, but there was a couple times. I think the first thing I tried to do was give it to Donovan, and he was like, "That's old, I don't want that." And yeah, we never huffed it. We never tried to sell it.
Surprised that didn't happen. At this episode 100, you asked Celis very briefly about Josco Tibbets and if he'd seen him around. I'm surprised that there hasn't been a little more poking around to see if anyone knows what
Josco.
Josco's been, because
Yeah.
the last time you saw him, you disappeared.
It's true.
Surprised that some people hadn't asked around as to where if anyone
Who
had
do you
seen
fucking ask about like an operative though?
Well, it's not an operative.
That's one of my regrets is not asking more around about people like Josco, like Winston. I don't think we ever asked Jillian about Winston.
We did because we got his
We did.
calling name.
Yes,
He's
you
the
did
vulture.
talk to
We did
Jillian
definitely
about
talk to
Winston.
Jillian about
She said you can't.
Well, we should have done it sooner.
Didn't she say something like, I can't tell you about him because he's still an active operative or something?
Not that.
No, she wouldn't have been able to tell
She
us.
can't
the
tell
name.
us hers because she's an
Yes.
active one.
Right.
But once you're
She
not
told us
active,
bum
you can't.
slave and vulture.
Yeah, because they're
Vulture,
not
yeah.
operatives anymore.
Right.
All right, well.
But yes,
Winston's
Josco
fucking
Tibbets
Muldoon.
resisted the temptation to poke your noses into the pockets in not pockets of the person in Mukmu and Tuk-Tu. Because
right. We
in,
went to scope it out and we're like, that seems hard.
in Mukmu at Hendry Farms and then or at Hendry property and then in Tuk-Tu at Stoddard Farms. I forget who it was.
Saphira.
You went and you were like, that looks spooky.
Yeah, you were like, there's a guy riding around the perimeter and another guy
I
keeping
had this
guard.
moment of like,
Yeah.
no, not gonna.
There's probably a pocket.
Definitely
there. We
understood
check that
why.
out.
But yeah, so those were some threads that I thought maybe didn't get followed that I thought maybe would have.
God, I'm so mad about that.
I hate that.
Literally never
Those
gonna get
responses
over that.
upset me deeply.
Should we do another D21?
Sure, yeah, we can do. Let's do more speed round shit.
Yeah, we'll keep
All right,
moving
here we
quickly,
go.
but go
I'm
ahead.
just gonna go.
So upsetting.
Number
ready?
17. Have we done that one?
17, let's check.
I've been crossing them out.
We
have not.
Okay. How often would you say you find yourselves thinking about the campaign during the week? Maybe a weird question, but do you think a 100 episode exercise in problem solving, heroism, and persuasion helped you or changed your perspective outside the game? Oh my.
Oh.
Very deep. You can answer the first part first. Do you find yourself thinking about the campaign outside of Sundays?
All the goddamn.
Well, as a producer,
Well, yes, as a producer, of course, but like any idle moment where I'm like in the shower or walking down the street, boom, I'm thinking about what the hell Orba's gonna do or say at any given moment. That's like all that occupies my brain pretty much. But like 100 episodes of exercising Orba thoughts, I found that I'm like much sillier sometimes. Like I just have like a more optimistic look at certain things, or I'll be like more playful when they're less Saphira-y. I think I'm very Saphira-y in real life, where I'm like I'm working now and playing.
This is
now.
work time, this is playtime.
Yeah, and
Yes.
now I feel like I realized that there are less consequences than I had ever feared of being playful when you're in a more serious environment, which I think is very Orba. So yeah, totally, absolutely. I'm trying to do this fast.
Yeah.
I definitely think about it on the daily. I mean, here in New York City, I'm sure a lot of us use the subway a lot. I have a playlist on my phone that it's like, if I want to get in this mood, I'll just like listen to this, and it'll bring me into the thoughts of what I might be going on in the story at the time or backstory stuff. And rewatching. Very lucky. I mean, people that play home games, you don't get to go back. We have this log where we can revisit.
Yeah. Oh,
and
what
it's
the
That
fuck
is a question,
amazing.
actually. We do revisit our things.
I think that was another
absolutely.
question too. Someone asked you
Yeah.
go back and watch things.
It's
so
so
all
good for
the time.
I think the only one
Oh.
who doesn't go back and watch stuff is me, and that's because I am self-conscious and I can't look at myself on camera for like
you'll
more
listen
than
to
5
it.
minutes.
You'll listen.
I
You actually fully
listen
have
to,
actually
and I
gone
fully
back and looked
have
for
put a
notes and
post-it
shit.
over my face and watched the whole screen.
That's awesome.
But
It works great.
you have to like, but it's also this blessing that we get to
Yeah.
revisit this stuff. Also 100.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's keep them rolling. We don't have to,
Yeah, roll it up.
Somebody take a roll there.
Oh, do it.
17.
We just
We just did that.
We just, oh God, how dare you?
15.
15.
Did we do that one?
We got that.
We did that one?
No, we got it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cast's characters have developed and changed in the month or so the parties travel together. Does who your character is now surprise you? Do you think their motivations and goals will change from this point forward?
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you, Dalton. on this one.
Yeah,
You can answer that. Or, yeah, no, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Saphira is going to change by necessity because this is a different. I think she's been slowly changing over the course of the first season, but I think it's going to be more pronounced in the second season because I now think that we have a little bit more of like a purpose. We're on a new job and we're taking on a new endeavor. And I think Saphira is going to need to get more comfortable living in moral gray areas because she's learning that they're everywhere and it's a minefield and she hates it every time she encounters it. But yeah, I think that Saphira is going to have to be more comfortable with that because no matter what, if you're fighting for something, there's no such thing as a war that doesn't have innocent casualties. There's no such thing. So we're going to screw up on this, and Saphira's going to have to get over it or stop fighting entirely. You know, so it's kind of like you either have to decide: are you a conscientious objector, or do you want to do something? And you can't be both. So I think she has been for the first season sort of living in this weird gray area of like, I object to violence in sort of this general sense, right? But at the same time, I believe it might be necessary to get stuff done. And now I don't have anyone telling me who the good guys and who the bad guys are. Yeah. So I have to determine that for myself. And I think she fucking hates that because she doesn't like the moral gray area. Yeah.
Totally. With the, sorry, just really quickly, beyond the mission now, also with the distant boat mission.
Oh,
with
yes.
Lamont Fowler.
Yes, yeah,
That's a great example because,
Oh, he's like,
you know, like people are going to die. Like the
Good
boat
people
might,
are going to die.
Yeah,
Good
people
people
are
get
the
wrapped
boat's
up
going
in
to
bad
sink.
things all the time.
And
I mean,
everyone,
yeah,
of
but you don't know
course.
if they're bad
If you can
either.
turn into a
It's like,
whale,
or
they
they're
can ride on
neutral.
your back.
Or it's, yeah.
And of course, everybody finding that line, the
safety.
characters finding that line of what you're willing to do for the greater good, of course.
Yeah. I was going to say, that has been, I think, one of the things that Graven and Saphira have been very much,
Yeah.
even if they're not on the same page about
No,
it,
but we're
they
doing
both
the same-
believe it.
yeah,
Where I
yeah.
was saying that very focused line of the black and white of like, Kuzni is good, I do what Kuzni says. Kuzni is bad, I need to go fuck up Kuzni. and that the thing is widened and that the gray areas are filling in. And I feel like Saphira and Graven tried to broach that between each other once or twice. And
Well, we're the two hardest characters to communicate with each other because you're very stoic and Saphira needs to have everything said out loud. So it's the we can't communicate because you don't want to say anything and Saphira needs you to say everything, otherwise she doesn't trust you. You know?
Yeah. It's been hard.
Excellent.
Pogodogo did 200 bits. Thank you, Pogodogo.
hey.
Instead of rolling, someone just asked an Erland question in chat. Can I just do that?
Yeah,
Great.
do it.
Hopeful Optimist just asked, question for Erland.
Why are you the way that you are?
We answered that already.
Why are
You take everything fun
We'll
and
hurt
make it.
How did it feel to beat someone who was on...
Spoilers.
How did it feel to beat someone who was on extract, knowing that Erland was fully aware of what was happening?
Did you or did
Yeah.
we?
It was a team effort.
Have to kill him.
God, it's
With her spell.
That's true. It was even with Orba's
yeah.
spell.
That's true. Go fuck yourself.
Teamwork.
Oh,
Answer the
yeah,
question.
now it's teamwork.
I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time we've seen someone use extract, like seen them
We
use
together have seen it. Yes, it's not
Like
the first
since-
time I had
No,
seen
like
it.
like
but
together,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
on the mission.
the
So
show, yeah.
Certainly the first. I mean, again, it's possible you've come into something that was on extract. Or that's the first time you've seen someone take it.
it.
take
from the
extract
front of
and
us,
like
yeah.
gain powers
Yes.
from it. And I think that it was for Erland very, very, very scary because
Good, be afraid.
because it's something that he obviously knows a little bit about and knows the things that can happen with it and the way it can be abused for either personal gain or used by others to
Make you into a monster.
turn you
basically.
into a mutant,
Yeah.
like we saw in Mukmu a little bit. And I think like coming face to face with someone willingly using it simply to beat up a dude who said something shitty to you in a bar.
Yeah, which is pretty insane.
I think it was like, good point. I think that it was fucking scary and made that
Yeah.
fight more personal because it's like, oh shit, this is a guy who's capable of doing this and abusing this sort of power and like, yeah. So I think that like that's why he ends up ripping the thing out of his ear is because there was like a personal note to it. It was just like, fuck this guy. I need to beat this guy. Erland does not, I think, care for that sort of use of it.
It's always scary to add to that when there's people in this world who are taking it who have no idea like just how powerful it is or the consequence. Like to him, maybe he's taken it a couple times before and he's like, oh, it makes me feel great in
Yeah, there's
combat.
no
Like,
warning label. Yeah.
It's like this just gives me a big boost. Like I feel more stronger, more sort of in tune than ever before.
Yeah.
People don't know about like the withdrawal symptoms. They don't know that they
there's
might
a
get
lot
immune.
that
They
they
don't
don't
know,
know.
of course, about the like significant
becoming a
plan,
mushroom?
like by like the powers that be to
Low
literally
probability,
turn
but
people
could
into
happen.
mushrooms. So like
Just that information gap that the party has, and when you see people who talk about using it casually, and you're like, how can they do that? It's because they don't know. They just don't know.
So I think that scared the shit out of Erland.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
All right, another one.
Yeah, let's keep the.
We'll do a little speed. I know we're hit 10 o'clock, but maybe we can do a little quick speed.
Yeah. Do you want me to pick one, or do you want
Sure. Yeah. No, go ahead.
The one in front of your eyes.
one in front of my eyes?
Yeah. Go.
I didn't cross out some.
I'll do one then.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, another one for me was about NPCs that I've enjoyed playing. So my favorite NPCs I've enjoyed playing.
Yes.
I would say there's a blanket. It's always fun to play the funny or silly characters that the party enjoys, but I think specifically I like characters that are difficult for the party to deal with when they have to like strategize how they're going to approach a certain character. Those are the fun characters to play. A couple of notable examples: Senka Uberti can't go to Reciprocity without knowing exactly what you're gonna fucking say to her. Hatchet, Palomar Franco, some of the sort of seedy underbelly, weaselly people who you always have to make a deal or something. The Radiran Elves is a really good one because they're very sort of proud, and especially all of these different, very specific Elven communities, the way that they sort of are so insular. So every time you want to talk to them, it has to be coming from a place that they understand, whether it's about something you can offer them or some way that you're connected to them, whether it's through a friend or something.
Fucking loved Aldoon.
I love playing some of the religious figures, especially the Lakafuyu, which we touched with at the ceremony by the river, because they're so obviously in conflict with two characters and their sort of interests on the continent. So those are really fun to play. Part of that question was also parts of Anti-Suyu that were fun to create, and the Elven communities, I think, is one of them, the ways that they're different and similar. I love coming up with what the Mullifers do and don't have their hands in. Like, you'll find out that they have their hands in this project, and then you'll find some characters that, for one reason or another, refuse to do business with them. So, like, figuring out who will and will not deal with the Mullifers is always a fun sort of gray area. And I also like little, very specific settlements between the big cities. Hackaton, Leopold's Garrison, the dwarves in the Mancuso mine, the ruins of Joyrook. Some of these like hyper isolated, specific sort of settlements, those are fun to create because they usually sort of serve a very singular purpose and are less sort of like sprawling the way that some of the cities are. So,
all right, we do have a live one, so I'm going to ask it.
Do it.
It's for folks here. Not DM. We have a lot of Saphira, Erland, and Orba Graven interactions. Are you interested in exploring different relationships inside the party? Your biggest French fan, Jimmy Bruel.
It's so late in France right now, dude.
Say that one more time.
So we have a a lot of Saphira, Erland, and Orba and Graven interactions.
So I think. Oh, sorry. I think that like it's evolved. I think that like different. I'm not sure when they started watching, but I think that like in Navika Pora for sure, Erland and Saphira have been together, but I think that's like largely circumstantial rather than by choice. Like you guys, well, like we three were together for a while. You and Beezy were doing your thing, but then you guys, went off to your god thing.
Well, trust.
Or like went out to like do
sell spells and
stuff.
get out of your debt.
Magic, like dirty magic stuff, like dirty magic.
But like I think it's
nasty
magic. I think it like depending on what we're doing. Like when we're on the road, it's pretty hard. Like we're all with each other all the time, so like you get like who's talking to who's aligning with whose point of view. Like I mean, for like fuck, there was a while when like in Mukmu where Graven and Erland were like super eye to eye on everything, and we're like
traveling through the city,
through the city together. Yeah. So I think it like evolves a little bit. I'm excited to see. We're now going through another big chunk where we're probably going to be on the road a bunch, so you'll get less Saphira and Erland. Boy, don't give Erland nothing to do. Like, otherwise he just...
like, idle hands, man. Idle hands.
That's my answer. I like seeing how they evolve, I guess, is the actual answer. Who you spend time with based on what's going on, whose attention is pulled where.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's been this kind of natural, especially with our... Like, that first clip, the one that I had showed, like, we have this connection with the gods, and magic. We are the magic users. We're the ones that are tied up in gods, and so we do end up having a lot of moments that go along with that. But yeah, it's just the four of us on the road now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to how that. And I can't even see you when you're perform. So who knows?
Right now,
You have the
an
little
empty
voice.
horse is riding
An
beside
empty
Graven
horse.
as you guys head out of
Raven's
the-
gonna forget me. Like,
It was
wait, where is she?
Good one for you. We'll keep go quickly. When did you come up with the "fuck you, Erland" in the note moment, and why?
I think that the Shakar thing developed, over the course of multiple episodes, but I had the idea, and he warned him ahead of time with the note at the mail house. I had the idea that, he was so insulted and his ego was so big that he wanted to mess with Erland throughout his time in Navikapura, and that there was a number of avenues that I thought of, and it depended on where you guys went. Like, he was going to target, little weak spots here and there, or things where he thought, and that just happened to be a way where I thought that if someone found that note, they might infer something about him. You guys correctly deduced that going to the Mycrawl Den was a trap. Like, for that note was sort of a double-edged sword. He was like, well, if they go to the Mycrawl Den, I've got a plan for that. But if they don't, they hang on to the note, and I've got a plan for that too. Yeah. So it was just a way to give him options for how he was going to strike next. And of course, the fuck you, Erland was
funny.
Well, it is. That's just his ego being like, I bet I can put this in this note and he won't notice it. That's what. That's what it was. It's like he was just so confident that no one would notice it, that he thought that he could sneak that in there.
When did we realize that?
Oh, we realized it after.
Oh, Matt pointed it out.
Yeah, Matt said something like...
You guys were sort of hovering around it because you were talking about the note containing something that you didn't initially see, but yeah,
the worst.
Yuck. Yes.
Do you want to bang out a couple of not D&D related things, or do you want to?
Should we end on some?
All right, here we go. What Pokemon type do you think your characters would be? You can do a dual type if you think it fits. Matt can do his favorite NPC. This is from Porpoise Merchant on Discord. Thank you, Porpoise.
I'll do the easy one first. I'm plant. Plant type Pokemon's a type of Pokemon.
Yes, but
called grass.
Pokemon. You could pick a Pokemon.
I thought you said type.
Well,
yeah, type.
Oh, it does
I know
say type.
Pikachu.
You're right.
That's the only one I know.
Not the
He's a
specific
Pokemon, right?
The type.
Fine.
Yeah. And poison.
I'm the only reptile person in the world and on the internet that doesn't know Pokemon. Can I just say that publicly?
I could see the overlap.
There's
between those.
it's an alarming
I like
overlap
small
to the
critters
point.
that kind of.
Yeah, no.
I bet you could name a Pokemon.
Pikachu.
There you go.
You did it. Spheres like Pikachu.
Pikachu energy.
Do I?
Her cheeks get
When I was a kid,
I would
wait,
say, but
wait,
if you piss her off, she
is
like
this
zaps
Mario
you.
Kart or is this a Pokemon? The one that's pink and it's
Kirby.
That's Kirby.
And
That's
it's
not a Pokemon.
Oh, but it's so cute and it gets
there's
fast
Kirby-esque
and it
ones.
flies.
It does transform into things. That
Oh,
it
but I love
absorbs.
it. Oh, it does.
There was a
Jigglypuff.
Kirby type
Yes.
Pokemon. I was gonna say you could
That's Mario Kart.
Jigglypuff
I'm sorry.
or Ditto.
I didn't do fun kid things. I watched Animal Planet.
Oh man. Stone type, stone and
Rock, man, you guys are all calling them by the wrong things. It's grass, not plant, and it's rock, not stone.
I haven't
We
played
suck.
since
Sure
Red
did it,
and
yeah.
Blue. Okay, it's been a long time. I played that on the bus on my brick Game Boy, and I haven't picked up one since. Okay, rock type, maybe fighting type, or
That feels right.
Rock, fire type.
That's right, rock and fire.
Are you really fighting type?
But you do have
Or are you losing?
you do have the stone skin thing though.
Normal type.
Is that called Stone's Endurance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say rock. I
Oh,
said
big time Diglett energy.
I am normal type.
Graven wishes he was normal type. He's
Yeah.
like, guys, I'm normal, please.
Please,
I'm so normal.
My life is normal.
Orbo, what type is Orbo?
I don't know.
You've had all this time to think. You came up with that now.
I guess psychic would probably be like the
yeah.
thing. I'm also
Dark
just
type?
charming. I could be dark. Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah,
This could be fun.
Pretty good.
yeah, I like that. All right, yeah.
The duality of Orba.
You have to do Jillian.
Steel type. I think she is. And then
That's good.
Damn it,
shell
man knows all the
exterior.
types. Way better than that.
I even went with the non-first gen.
Yeah,
thing.
wow. Damn. That was good.
Don't mess with Mac and Pokemon.
All right. Was there another quick hit? A non-D&D one? Was
Favorite video games of all time.
Oh.
Matt had a Deep Rock Galactic shirt,
did
and
have
I
a
was
Deep
playing
Rock
Vermintide on Discord. Any other favorite
Big fan of
vintage
4-player
games?
co-op games. I mean, Left 4 Dead was my darling back then, which is why I played.
We have played a good amount of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, the day we beat Helm's Deep during lockdown. Oh, that was a
After
good day.
many
joyful day in peak lockdown.
I think I woke up neighbors when we finally beat Helm's Deep at like 4 a.m.
Ocarina of Time's so fucking good.
I've gone from, and I still love all of them, but I was very much a Zelda guy. Like Ocarina, Twilight Princess was probably my favorite game for a long time, and then I went to PS4, and so like all those Naughty Dog, Uncharted, Last of Us, those were probably my number ones for a while.
Uncharted and Last of Us are so good.
These days, it's like Metroidvanias. I really like Hollow Knight. I've been playing the shit out of Spiritfarer recently, but also the 4-player co-op ones. Can't wait for Dark Tide.
Ooh,
That's
gonna be sick.
Yeah. I want to also say, Dude put on Discord a fun fact. Did you know that at 353 hours, 41 minutes, and 42 seconds, which is equivalent to 2 full weeks of nonstop content, the Season 1 playlist of A Peek Beneath the Veil has a longer runtime than the entirety of The Simpsons. Suck it, Simpsons!
That's
Simpsons
not only
didn't do it.
No.
That's
I'll
not
watch your
only.
mouth about the Simpsons.
That's not only wild. It's how come we didn't just sit for 2 straight weeks instead
Yeah, there
of
we go.
spend all this time?
Why?
Yeah, we could just sat there.
Season 2.
Could've been
Why don't
easy.
we just
Not
Could've been
slept for
easy.
2 weeks.
Would've
Oh,
been
that would be a
fun.
chaotic campaign.
Oh my god.
It would be.
You guys
But
could have
yeah,
been in
campaign would be
Navika
like-
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Our rests, like we rest
We
for 8
rest,
hours.
yeah.
You don't get to sleep until you get to the rest.
You just watch us sleep for 8 hours.
Where was it? Don't split the party. It'll take 2 days.
While everyone's sleeping, I go like, make a perception check. Make sure you're watching.
He's got his own little alarm. Yeah. Oh my
Careful, people will be like, this is a good idea.
Favorite video game?
Oh, that's really hard. I haven't played too many video games because I didn't have a console for most of my life.
Too much Animal Planet.
Too much Animal Planet. I really liked the Tomb Raider games, like the newer Tomb Raider games.
Oh, the newer ones.
Yeah, the newer ones, because I didn't play the.
I was gonna say the Pointy Boob era.
No, I didn't play the older ones because I didn't have the tech.
The boobs were
When I was a kid, I did a lot of The Sims as a kid.
Oh, the Sims.
That's a good one.
I know how to kill Sims in a lot of different ways.
Take the ladder out of the pool.
Yes, it's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah, no, and Last of Us, Uncharted, Red Dead Redemption was so good.
yeah.
All the really sort of wonderful like sort of single player like role playing. I love those. I'm not big on multiplayer because I'm bad. So like
So am I.
I
That's why with the 4-player
Anthony,
co-op,
please,
it's
you are not bad in the
multiplayer,
way
but
I
if
am
you're
bad.
You're on the same team, so.
Yeah, that's true. I get embarrassed about my skill level, so I like to play alone on easy.
Hey,
Enjoy the
have fun the way you have fun.
I also
That
liked
is-
Telltale when they were still making games,
Oh, yeah.
although
those are very
they have stopped. I think they are dead now. Rest in peace.
that
They
genre,
are
I think,
dead
yeah.
now.
Also,
Yeah.
God of War 2018, which I
Oh.
won't say wasn't some inspiration for Graven, because
yeah.
there is a very like he 2 seconds. So he he draws his power from being a god, and like his past is this thing, and he was very single-minded, and he killed all the Greek gods, and now he's trying to like start over, and he has a young boy that he looks after and is like trying to teach him the ways of being a god, but also using it for the right reasons
Am I the young boy
and
in
stoic.
this
I
scenario?
think you're the young boy. You're my son. You're my little half Greek, half Viking son.
Craven's like, I need this.
Oh, is that a Greek accent you've been doing this whole time? Is that what that is?
Can I call you boy?
Kogodogo also just did 200 bits. I want to end on a question for you. If
Please,
that's okay.
you man.
This is from J Adam on YouTube. Yeah, got it. No, this is not from J Adam. I'm sorry, J Adam. We're not asking your question.
Oh, that's awesome.
Should we ask it really
Ask
quick?
it real quick.
Ask it real
That's
quick.
rude. That's rude.
Does
that.
Matt have any tips on being a DM? For example, programs he uses. How does he keep the story flowing so well? And how does he keep track of all his NPCs? Big question. You asked.
There's a couple simple parts and a hard part to answer. OneNote is the program that I use for everything. I'm looking at it right now. It's organized by like chapters, and then I have sort of the locations in each chapter. It varies a lot. Basically, I just try to break it down into places that I know the party is going. I'll have a little page for Tessa Pleasance's place. I'll play for the Upa Ale House, and I'll be like, okay, this character comes up to talk to them at this point. So I break it down into little pieces. In terms of keeping track of NPCs, the best part about OneNote is that I can link to other pages in OneNote. So I'll be like, this NPC shows up, see this page, which is the last time that they met this character. So if I'm like, oh, what did that character say to them last time? Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking. So I can reference back sort of what I had before. So that's how I keep track of it.
I've been using that because you do, and I didn't know it did that. So
that's like its
Using
best
that feature.
thing. Yeah, the link to page. As for keeping the story flowing, I mean, that's not only so specific to every group, but what we constantly have to acknowledge is that the players are nothing without the DM, and the DM is nothing without the players. I mean, everybody keeps the story flowing. My players I'm exceptionally lucky that people have a very good feel for pace of scenes, keeping the action moving, knowing when to move on from one subject to another, when to dig deeper on something, when they can slow down and take a moment to themselves, when they need to reunite with the rest of the party and make it a bigger conversation. I mean, so much of that comes with trusting the players that you're playing with. And I think if you look back at some of our early episodes, not that we do a bad job, but we've gotten just so much better at it. And that only comes with time and trust. And it doesn't have to be playing with just one group the whole time, just experience with, sharing a table with other players. It takes a long time to develop those skills. Those don't just come immediately to people. That's always going to be a constant thing, and we're still getting better and better at it as we continue on. So, was that the one that we weren't going to answer?
Correct. Yes.
Great.
So
Knocked it
now,
out.
thank you, Jay Adam, for that question. Agent Z46 on YouTube also asked, "Does this campaign have a foreseeable ending? And if so, any plans for the channel after that?"
Yes, plans for the channel after that. I mean,
Chaos.
of course, we don't have a number in mind, certainly, but there will be another campaign, and we've laughed and joked about what characters we might play, in that.
Nightwinch did ask if we had backup characters ready at some point.
We've joked about that as well, what people would play if their character...
I low-key kind of do, because I've gotten so scared that Saphira's gonna die that I've practiced other accents, being like, it might happen.
Good to be prepared. But a foreseeable ending, again, I don't have I'm not targeting a number of episodes or anything, but I have some thoughts about after which major storylines are resolved, how to sort of bring it all to an end.
Oh my god.
Just making sure that there's that each character has some degree of closure or seeing through to the end, sort of the mission that they're on. But I have no idea when that's going to be, but I have some ideas about how that might kind of come together.
Earl gets thrown back into Atonement's End. Saphira has to go back to Kiera. Graven gets
She's
taken
arrested as a deserter.
And Orba goes back to the Halls of Transmutation as a servant.
As a doll.
As a doll, yes, that's her true form, which is a doll.
We all collectively put her back on the show together.
Goodbye, Orba. I hope you enjoyed the brief.
She served her purpose.
Yeah, the brief
And they're all
life
like,
you
was
had.
she ever real? And there's flashbacks and there's just a doll.
Oh my god.
Having a collective Oscar.
Yeah.
If you look back, every NPC's looking at Orba like...
Yeah.
Orba is what everybody needs her to be.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen an NPC actually talk to Orba, guys?
Oh my god.
It's
Get
just
outta here.
the end of it is Benji telling a story to 3 or 4 other people getting on a carriage with Jillian.
And that's
Be
the start of season
the
2.
last time Jillian brought people on this carriage, it worked out really funny.
I thought you were going to
we
say...
all died in that.
That's what I was saying. is that you guys actually went over the cliff, Benji lived.
and we all died.
Told our story. Oh, we would have been.
Then they got to Naviko Bura.
I did suggest to Matt that at one point, because somebody asked about Benji, they were like, who the fuck is Benji? Because in Session Zero.
Oh, fuck.
He's such a minuscule role. Like
you
he's
don't
he's
need to know
nothing.
who he is. He was the
But
carriage
he's
driver.
just like a
no,
fucking
guys, he's
meme.
so important.
He's like a meme now, but nobody's
Yeah.
ever seen him. So I'm gonna convince Matt to like put Benji on tape so that people can see
He was the
in it for,
carriage
like, 5
driver.
minutes.
Yeah, he was the carriage driver that the
In no
caravan
way
was
significant.
attacked when Jillian was first recruiting the party, and the carriage went over the edge of a cliff, and presumably, or part of the carriage went over the cliff, and
Presumably
presumably
also did
Benji
Benji.
is toast. But because
We
they
don't
never
know.
saw his
No.
body or found him, it's become sort of a where does Benji?
I
Second
want him
sending.
to come back. That's how it ends.
Nobody wrote Benji on the tree,
Oh my
so
God,
you
yeah.
missed your
Cast
chance to
sending.
find out.
You're talking
Cast
Benji.
sending to the tree.
Send
Right
just to
on.
Benji.
Benji and Shalir. Those are my first 2 casts.
I love
If
Critical
he
sending.
lets you. You guys have already been warned about something.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
Um,
Kuzni's gonna be like, yeah, sure.
Talk to Benji.
you want to talk to? Yeah, he's dead.
You can't talk to him. He's deceased. But yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. Fucking weirdo.
We could either close it out with a doobly doo, or we can just end the evening on a lovely question.
I was wondering, maybe Graven gave Orba a lot of shade for choosing her god card. So, why doesn't Graven grace us with a little fate or fortune? I'm gonna roll the die, and you can decide whether to let fate or fortune.
I rolled a
Two.
2.
I know you rolled a 2.
You should pick 5.
Well, I was gonna say I have to pick 1
Why?
because of all my natural ones.
Oh, this is
What is? I don't.
perhaps
I don't know.
perhaps prophetic.
I am so scared. Do I do the same number as that you did? No, I can't do. I'm gonna be better than you.
It's gonna get. Watch it be Quiznos still.
Can't wait. 3.
No.
1, 2, 3. Oh, how good would that have been?
Oh, you got poop
1.
beard.
Show me 1, please.
No.
Oh, okay,
what's
okay,
two?
thank God. I almost did it.
Ah, would have been so
The
good.
fortunes were with Kuzni, but fate, as it turned out, was not. And we will leave you with that this evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this little special
Oh
episode.
my gosh.
We got to relax and hang out and relive some of our favorite moments.
Yeah, some awesome questions, guys.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
We are continue to marvel at people's investment in it. It means so much to us. It just makes us more and more excited to keep doing it. And I can't believe I finally get to say this, but the next stream is season 2 of Tabletopnotch. We finally get to unveil so much of the stuff that we've been working on.
A week from today.
A week from today. We hope that you guys are excited and that you join us and that you can continue to be on this journey with us as we make our way all the way to the Rocker Mountains.
My God.
With a few stops along the way.
Pogodoga just did 200 bits, as well as GF Powers. Not Jeff Powers, GF Powers. Did 100 bits. Thank you. I
Thank
didn't
you
want to
guys
interrupt.
so
just-
much. No, please interrupt. It's very, very, very touching, and we can't wait to continue. We're so excited for the next evolution of this, and to see what happens. We've discussed many of the possibilities, and I can't wait to write a new list of all the threads that the party didn't fall on.
Oh, I hate you. Those
You'll
hurt
use them.
so
You're gonna use them.
bad.
I know you're gonna use them.
You can come back and ask Emma about the poop pipes when you get back to the week before.
If she's still around.
She's dead.
Don't
She's a carrion
even
crawler.
talk about that. That's not good.
Oh, and it's Dave Mars just did 500 bits. Thank you so much. Oh, you
So
guys.
much. We hope you have an amazing week, and we hope to see you here
Yes.
next week with us
Happy
at Tabletop
Father's
Notch.
Day. Happy
Father's
Juneteenth.
Day.
Happy
Juneteenth.
Oh my
Happy
goodness, what a landmark.
Juneteenth.
I know.
So please have a drink, celebrate, have a wonderful night.
Father's Day.
Celebrate all the things, and we'll see you here next week. From Orba, Graven, Saphira, Erland, and me, we will see you on season 2 of Tabletop Notch. Have a great night.
Bye.